stupid. Make sure this is in order. What's the button? F11. F11.
F11.
Desktop capture. Woo! Hey! Welcome back. We're doing another tier list. Woohoo!
Hey.
We're doing Monster Hunter World Monsters. Base World.
That's not a Pokemon.
That's not a Pokemon.
That's not a Pokemon.
Anyways. We have tier list rules based on, monster design. I put quality of hunt, so like how fun or how difficult you think the monster is. That can also sway your opinion. How the weapon and the armor look that come out of the monster, and everything else associated with the monster. For example, if you guys remember, like their intro cinematics, if that's something that you liked and you want to bring up, you can also do that. As always, order matters. We're gonna make a separate tier list for the Iceborne side of it, and then, as always, it's our opinion.
And your opinion.
No. Fuck everybody else. This is our tier list. Here's the selection order I used. I picked the order that we are going through, depending on the length of our names in game.
Why Aleb? And then I was like, oh, that's my character's name.
I don't think I ever made myself first in the Pokemon tier listing, so I was like, I want to make myself first for somehow, so I used our in-game names, and this is the order that we're gonna choose it. So myself, Austin, Andy, and then Josh. All right, cool.
That got sorted out.
Anyways.
What's happening? Why we're changing this tier right now? I'm down with that.
God.
I know who's going there.
Now, does this fuck this monster mean it's two?
Oh, wait, hold on. That's wrong.
Or-
This one should be D still, and then should be blue, I think, or dark green. And then
D
you
still,
edit this
my
one, and then
So I think Josh has a very valid
Hey.
question here.
this monster.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all questions have been answered.
Any concerns have been raised?
I'm putting both Leshens in this monster, or this tier.
Oh, I forgot Leshen was a thing.
Yeah, this is the worst fucking fight in base world ever. Because to attack it, you had to use an emote associated with the crossover event. And the emote had like a 3-minute cooldown. So if you missed the Leshen, you were just running for 3 minutes, not being able to do anything. This monster fucking sucks. I don't even like Gerald. Fuck this guy.
Carol.
You just said you don't like him, so I assume you don't care.
I don't fucking care.
Is that true? I thought you could use fire, like any type of fire damage.
Nope.
No, you had to
No.
use his special
Ugh.
emote.
Fire. Wild
I-
Hunt Fire.
I've severely misremembered that fight.
Yeah.
I completely skipped
I think you're blinded by your Witcher bias.
Yeah.
I had no Witcher
No,
bias. I
remember
fucking
thinking,
hate this fight.
This is really cool. But yeah, I definitely did not remember that you had to use the emote. I remember the emote, but I knew you could use it.
because you
again.
probably hit it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my first pick.
You have a weapon that does damage?
Ah,
Damages it.
I agree with this.
Yeah, there was no like cool fucking Witcher collab. There was no reason to make it as difficult and as like tunneled.
Inaccessible.
Yeah, as they did for this stupid ass fucking monster.
Especially with how little damage I remember it doing.
Oh yeah, that too. It does no damage to you because it attacks you with crows. So you're just standing there waiting for this fucking emote to happen, the cooldown. This is not a fucking fun monster. Fuck this monster.
It was a
not a
good idea,
monster.
just poorly executed.
It's a monster in Monster Hunter. Actually, I don't know. Is it a monster in Monster Hunter? Does it fall underneath a monster?
It's a fall.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
actually, hey, what is this category?
We're hunting it in a monster hunting game, so it's got to be a monster, right?
That counts. That counts. It's got its own little picture. It counts.
All right, that's my pick. I hate this thing. I wanted to
Okay,
get that
well.
out of the way.
That's fair enough.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Zitzi Yaku.
Yaku.
Blindy boy.
I hate this monster.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Now we have to. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
This guy
Your
sucks,
reasoning.
bro. He's out here and running you, flashing you.
You don't like the
Showing him.
Flash, bro?
I hate the flash. I flash pod. They can't flash pod me, okay?
Not okay.
Not okay. I am the sole flash pod user. This guy, what does he give you? Sunglasses?
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, for like special event in Iceborne.
Great. So
And there's no such thing as like
Uh.
stun resist, right? So it's not like it.
I think there is.
Is there?
Yeah, there is.
I don't know. He just of this skeleton of the raptors, right? Or the bird wyverns.
Hmm.
Zitzi's my least favorite. I think he doesn't have the personality that's like playful, like the Kulu, which we'll talk about later. I think Zitzi, he's kind of a gimmicky monster, right?
Yeah.
He's gimmicky and gimmicky in a bad way. I don't think he looks cool. I don't think his his like frill, because he's supposed to be like a frilled, like poison, Jurassic Park kind of guy.
Hmm.
It's whack.
He doesn't like have a unique attack. I feel like outside of just flashing you and then running away like a little biatch.
His
So-
flash, whack. His frills, whack. His skeleton, whack.
Okay.
I'm
Can I
kind
bring up a counter?
Yeah.
Having him on the map while you're fighting another monster is hilarious.
That's
Because
true.
he will flash the other monster if they're flying, and it will knock him down.
That's true.
That is true.
He's a bit of a
So-
team. He's a bit of a team player.
So with that,
think
For
can
that-
we move him up to D?
I will go up to D.
yeah, I think definitely.
He's not unbearable.
Yeah, he's
He's
not
not
unbearable.
unbearable
These
like
these
the
guys
rest
are unbearable.
He's not actively unfun,
and
Yeah.
he's not
but
hard
he's
to
super
kill.
annoying. Yeah. He's just an environmental hazard at this point.
Yeah. He's an environmental hazard that you can wear its skin.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Alright, that's
I'm
my
okay
pick.
with it being a D, but I don't think it deserves to be a. I hate this monster.
Can you
How-
can you
how
look
valid-
away from its flash and not be affected? Is
Yes,
that
you can.
Okay.
You can look away from it, and
You can just not
shows
look
you-
at
Not
it.
when I'm charging my crate.
okay.
You didn't play Greatsword in this game though.
I did eventually.
you?
My
Okay.
my
Eventually you
second way around. Yeah. I
Okay.
did.
Did you
Yeah,
start
because
off
I
with-
think
You're right. I was a Insect Glaive user
Insect
mostly
Glaive.
on PS4.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Shit. Lavasioth. No, is that in this game?
Yes.
Yep.
I hate this
oh,
monster.
Yes. 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 Yes.
There
Yes. Yes.
In between the lushes.
Yeah. In between the lushes.
Oh God, I
This
understand.
fucking monster, for no fucking reason, switches its weaknesses, has hyper armor that fucking blue or purple. No, what's the top you can get in base?
White?
Blue
White.
sharpness.
Oh.
You can
Blue
get
sharpness
white.
was max until Iceborne.
Was it? There's no way.
Was there a white sharpness weapon?
Probably longsword though. Honestly,
Yeah.
which is the
Well,
exception.
I mean, okay. Well, longsword also just gets ultimate sharpness anyway.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
its
Yeah. Yeah.
power. But notwithstanding.
Regardless.
Regardless, this fucking monster has so much HP for no fucking reason. He's not a fun fight because he has his lava pools he runs away to, swims away to, and you can't hit it for like a solid 35 seconds. Trash. I'd never want to see this monster again, and they keep putting it in games, but I never want to see this goddamn thing.
It's not. It's not a. It's not a world monster.
What do you mean?
It's not a monster that was
What do you mean
introduced to
by
the world.
they keep putting him in games? What do you mean by that?
Was it not in Rise?
No, it was not.
Is it not? Am I tripping?
Juratotis is in Rise, but not Lavasia.
Jared, yep.
Dude, did my hate just transcend games?
I think so. I think
Fair
so.
enough. Fair enough.
Oh God. I mean, I understand. I especially hate that one map in which it's one of the one location in the one of the last maps in the
The
game.
lava map
Yeah.
or the dragon map?
I think it's the lava map in World.
Or that is the dragon.
Like the little multi pools he hangs
Yeah,
out
where you
with.
find him in with the triple, like
Yeah.
the.
The
that's where you
Elder's
find it.
Recess.
Elder's
Elder's
Recess. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's the one. God, I hated it. Every time he went to there, I was like, well, I guess I'll wait till he leaves.
That's where you usually find him at, though.
I know, that's
Yeah.
why I hate it.
That's
It's
the
like,
that's the worst part. You find him in the worst possible situation, and you have to fight him there for so long because he doesn't want to run away from that fucking area.
why would he?
Why would he? Because he's a fucking bitch.
I mean, I was lucky that I was a bow user at the time, but even then,
Yeah, that's like, and then we're just talking about World. It was so much worse in the older games. And Try, oh my lord.
Because at least
It-
with the
yeah.
Switch Axe, I have Mind's Eye through Sword Mode, but like, especially in base World where switching between forms wasn't like the Switch Axe playstyle back then, it sucked. It was not fun. I couldn't believe this fucking monster, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I played so many weapons, and a majority of them
You still
just
couldn't get through it.
was not good against it. And
I don't think this thing has any redeeming factors either.
Yeah, it doesn't even look cool.
it's
It
dirty.
looks weird. Got his little fucking salamander
that-
head on
Yeah.
a fish body. Like,
I mean, I don't know.
I
It
have
feels
to
wrong
agree.
putting him in that spot, but I also don't really want to fight too hard for removing him from there. So
It just looks wrong in between the Luscians.
Okay.
I put him below the ledge.
Yeah.
no, it has to be above the left.
No, it has to be above
No,
the
it does
Luscian.
not.
It has to be above the
does.
Luscian.
It has to be
I
above
think
the
so. He's
I-
not
I-
worse than the Luscian.
Like I
Bullshit.
said, I can do damage when it's like, when my emote is on cooldown. But if my emote's on cooldown, I'm not touching these fuckheads. That's the worst part about them. Anyways.
Okay, my turn. Yep.
Yeah, you limb.
Let the laundry out, man.
Let's try to raise this list up a bit. I've got the Odogaron. We're probably I think
Anyways.
S. Oh right, we have something else we have to do.
That's a weird way to spell. Dodogan was a weird way to spell Dodogaron.
Yeah, I just Monster Hunter World was like my first like real Monster Hunter game, and this was one of the cooler monsters I remember. His entrance was badass. His armor looks great. I like the way that he fights.
I like the
how,
way
like-
that you walk, the way that you talk. Yes, sir.
How like
Wait.
acrobatic and like dangerous he was for me for the first time. Plus I like his it has really cool design, and all of the armors I've seen have cool designs for him. Even though they don't usually the skills don't usually work for the weapons I use, but I mean
Okay, yeah, I was about to say because
because they've got critical eye, I think, and world, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, that's where I think Underground is probably one of the best like base designs for like not a non-Elder Dragon thing.
stole my pick, bitch. I was gonna put Odogaron there.
Pivot.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, the armor is cool. I like the what's the theming of it? I didn't want to. I don't.
It's like a
The ninjas.
Shinobi.
Armor?
Oh,
It's-
Shinobi.
it's
Yeah,
like nin-
Shinobi makes more sense. That armor looks cool. Yeah, Josh, it didn't work with your like weapon for the most part, but it had like protective polish. It had critical eye, which works with
Yeah.
everything. I think I don't remember if it had handicraft.
Yep.
Which- it did something to boost
Armor.
your sharpness like regardless. But like after Odogaron, like once you first fight Odogaron, you build his armor. Like that's a good armor set until the end of the game for base world. At the very least, was what I did.
It
Yeah,
had a
I carried
speed
most of
sharpening.
it.
Yeah.
I remember his weapons being great too.
It has speed sharpening,
Oh yeah, speed
Yeah,
sharpening.
speed
Yeah.
sharpening.
and then its bonus was punish draw,
Mm.
which was adds a stun to any draw.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was good for quick draw, great sword.
Odogaron is shaped like an S. Ah, it belongs up there. It belongs.
He's looking
up there.
raw.
He's looking raw.
He's looking raw, dude.
And I guess before, does anyone want to move him? I should ask.
I mean, I
He's
would move
great up
him
there.
here, but I don't think that makes any sense.
Yeah, doesn't.
I mean, it has like almost the same letters. It's just
Yeah.
in a different order.
Yeah,
Dodo Gama. Odogaron. I didn't even think about
yeah.
that.
I'm saying it's a weird way to
basically there.
spell Odogaron. You're missing like an R.
We'll leave that there for now. I'm good
We'll
with
just
that.
say probably, before we go any further, we probably should address that.
No,
right
no,
away.
we'll address it when we get to that monster.
I guess so. Yeah.
When it's time to address it, it'll be time.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So what?
Hmm. Let's see. I want to put Kieran in B. I'll put Kieran in B. I think it's a cool design. You know, unicorn, electric unicorn.
Dragon.
It's a unicorn. What was I gonna say? I don't feel too
Giraffe.
strongly. I don't feel too strongly about it either or though. At the same time, I know everybody when we were first playing World hated Kieran because they didn't know how to fight Kieran. Respectfully, it was just a skill issue. And
Who you
because
talking to, huh?
and because everybody was complaining so much about Kieran, I was like, fuck it. I'll fight 5,000 Kierans so that whenever we need to hunt one, I'll take care of it. I like the Switch X design from Kieran though. It's like a giant ass horn. I think it's one of the stronger like thunder weapons in base, and that's also pretty cool. I don't care for the armor, but because I played male, it has nice female armor though. But other than that, I think Kieran is very middle of the pack for an Elder Dragon.
I think correct me. It was like one of the first Elder Dragons like introduced in
Into the.
right?
It was the only low rank
Elder Dragon.
elder.
Right. So yeah. I think
I don't think that's true. I think this guy is also introduced in low.
I don't count
I-
him as
I
a fight.
yeah, I guess
He was
so.
an event.
I like Kieran at B. I think it's a legacy monster. It's cool. It I'm not sure if it does anything that stands out in particular in world.
Not
Right.
really.
Like so that's where I kind of agree. It's nice. It's not and once you learn how to if you figure it out, it's not that bad. I concede that point. And lore wise, right? I mean, talking about things that eat its horn and stuff, right? It has its place, right? It has
Yeah.
its place.
Yeah,
So
By the way, Kieran is from
yeah.
original.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a
It is from
true
base-
legacy. Yep. It's a true legacy monster. So I think B is a good, it's representative of Monster Hunter, and
yeah.
it's there.
Not quite mid, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Who's after? Cadenza?
Leave.
Me. Tis me. Let's get my boy Puke Puke. Let's put him at A.
A
Come
tier.
on.
A tier.
Puke Puke is a sick monster, all right? It's pretty cool. In the world of in the theming of world, right? You're gonna have more, let's say, westernish designs, right?
Yeah.
I think it fits that kind of mix of that western design mixed with a little bit of the same silhouettes of the classic monsters, right? Is it technically a bird wyvern, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. But it still has like that dragon-like stance.
Mm-hmm.
It's got feathers, right? Like a real dinosaur, right? Like a realistic dinosaur. The tail's kind of cool, or sorry, the tongue is kind of cool, and then the poison, the full screen poison laser beam is it catches you off guard
Yeah.
at the
Lower
at the
ranks when you're
at
first
lower
learning
ranks. So it's a good way of doing kind of something mechanically interesting while not punishing you for making the mistake, right? It just ends you with poison, doesn't obliterate you or half your life bar, right? So
And they
um,
usually give you like a free for like
it. Antidote.
yeah, it's a teaching tool, right? He's definitely a teaching tool, right? So I like Puke Puke. He fits, his role in the game fits well. Is he the coolest thing? No, right? But he fits, right?
Yeah.
He fits his role.
He represents itself
Yeah.
very well.
It's goofy.
Does he not produce the
He is
strongest?
goofy.
Does he not produce the strongest poison weapon?
No.
I feel like Rathian might.
Because
No?
Rathian and
Wrath
Pink
does?
Rathian
Yeah.
exist.
I feel like- Well, I meant like highest poison.
I mean, I used Puke Puke weapons for a long time.
I did
right?
too. Like,
Until I switched away from poison.
So in base world, I was and the Puke hammer was coolest because when you charged it, quills would come fully charge it.
No, that's cool.
You look like you had this
Yeah.
spike ball. It's pretty rad.
I didn't know that.
The armor looked pretty cool. You look like a ranger.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
classic D&D ranger with the cloak,
Like the hat.
the hat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Look
goggles,
like-
right?
And then like you look like you were built to camouflage into the grass and stuff.
Is Puke
Yeah,
Puke a world original monster?
Yes.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. That's cool. You know, it speaks a lot to what Austin says. Like, just based off of its design and its feel, I thought it was a legacy monster.
Really?
Like, it was that well designed. It's like, oh, they've had time with it. So no, I did not know it was an original world.
I think
They're actually
I think it's because
well-
it looks kind of goofy, right? Because like a DS game or like older like graphical game, they kind of like the monsters kind of look
Kinda-
janky and stuff like that. So I understand where Josh is coming from, but yeah,
Yeah.
Puke Puke is a world original monster, which is pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, I think it belongs in there.
You
Also,
go
I
into
think-
the new world. You go into the crazy ancient forest, and then you have this little goofy.
This bug-eyed fucking bird looking at you
Bug-eyed,
like that.
yeah.
I love the way he'll do that fucking run at you where he like raises his chest and head.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then he goes blah.
He's asserting his dominance, and then he just pukes on you. Puke Puke is cool.
I like
So
Oh,
cool
yeah.
they brought it back, unlike some other monsters.
Wait, was Otogaron not in Rise, or was he?
No,
No.
Otogaron was
That's
unfortunately
so
not
wild
in
for that
Rise.
game.
all right.
Ah.
I know. Tell me about it.
I get great hero. Yeah.
Gyros
B.
B tier.
I just like to design a lot. They look like remind me of like a Gila monster mixed with Cobra.
Above or below
under-
Kieran?
Under
Kieran.
I don't know. His armor looked really cool too. He had like kind of steampunky.
Yeah.
It was always like a favorite
Cowboy.
me to use to glamour with.
Say
And,
cowboy,
I don't know.
Josh.
That's right. I thought it was more cowboy.
It also had cowboy. The well, because it was steampunk.
Oh, I guess
Steampunk
that's fair.
cowboy.
Yeah. So, like black, super easy to with. And I mean, the monster itself, I like that he's got goons.
Oh, he had the plague doctor mask
The plague doctor. Yeah.
for the
Oh.
male. Oh yeah, that's a plus. I like that a lot.
He had the goons, right?
He did have goons.
He had the goons.
He had the goon.
You had a squad.
Yeah, and I like that there was like a low level monster that would do paralyze, so that get to it.
You had to
again.
learn.
Well, yeah, so good learning curve. Along with the puke, but no.
Hey, Andy, you're cutting out a bit. I'm not
Am I?
sure. Yeah, just a bit.
Okay, sorry. Is this better?
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, the learning curve on it was really cool. I thought it was a great way to introduce paralysis.
Oh, is
Uh,
it the first? It might be the
it's
only
the first.
paralysis monster, right?
I think it's the first.
Uh,
ZT is electrical, right? That's not.
C does stun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blind is stun. Is it the only?
Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, it's
yeah,
Oh,
wait,
okay. Well,
is it really?
Toby Kadachi. No, you Toby Kadachi.
Did one of
Thunderblight.
the Rodobon did sleep?
Rodobon did.
yeah. I guess this
Huh,
is
is
the
it
only.
the only paramonster?
I think
That
so.
can't be right.
Because
No,
Thunder,
that's
all right.
Because
No,
Thunderblight, Thunderblight is different than paralysis. So
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Because like
Okay.
the Juratodus was like the only water
Water
Right.
blight.
blight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, world wasn't very well, it was very diverse, right? But it wasn't very like I don't know what the words for it, but like it didn't
was-
have a variety in the sense of
In it,
Right.
typing, right? Yeah, but it was diverse and like everyone had a specialty, and that's what kind of made everything stand out and why we're doing this tier list, right?
Yeah.
Because they do stand out and they have their own role. Just like how the Zitzi's role is to fucking paparazzi you into oblivion.
I thought we were done with it.
But I digress.
I'm
he's
your
gotta bring up his
biggest
boy.
fan. I'll follow you until you love me. I swear we were singing that shit every time we played World, bro. Am I misremembering?
No, that's right. Lady Gaga's out here.
I used to be. What were my weapons in World? I think it was. I started off with bow, great sword, and I think
Blades?
These
Was
are
it dual
cool
blade?
blades.
dual blades. Yeah. I started doing a bit with the hammer.
I think you got into hammer.
In Rise
Okay, ice.
or Iceborne.
Yeah, I think maybe like a late World, like a base, and then I was doing it in Iceborne.
Mm.
Okay. Well, but yeah, that's great.
Yeah, Great Gyros is cool. I just I mean, I don't think he goes lower, but I just remember because he's the first Rotten Veil
Yeah.
monster, and I hated
The Rotten Veil.
going into the poison area or
Yeah.
the stinky area,
God.
and you had to. So the thing was, you're kind of forced to fight him and forced to somewhat grind him in order to get some of the resistance,
Fluvia
effluvia resistance, right? So I get it's like it is a teaching tool, and he has his purpose to kind of just teach you about it and get you
Used to it.
started.
Yeah.
But I just the mechanic itself, I think, wasn't done well, and that's more of a fault of the game than the
Then the
monster.
Yeah.
But it did implement the gimmick well, so I'll give it points back for that, even though the gimmick was not great. So
Uh,
that's what I'll say.
I liked it when you could just use the flame pod to like give yourself some breathing room, right up until I accidentally hit one of his little buddies,
And then they
I
all
was,
started ganging up on you.
and then I was fucking furious.
He's got little flaps on his face too. I like his flaps. I like the Great Gyros' flaps.
Oh yeah, that's like the cobra look.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cobra
His
flap.
frills are sick.
Your frills are not.
They're sickly.
Yeah, we stand great Gyros here. Who was that? Was that Andy?
Yeah, that was me. I
Alright.
think Josh.
Yosh's turn.
Let's see here. The Great Jaggy.
Great Jaggy.
Um, I'm thinking B tier as well, but
That's
you could
fucked
go.
because he didn't even call it by its
Yeah,
Great
he
Yeah.
didn't say its name right.
The Great Jaggers. That's my.
The Jagrass.
God.
The Jaggy's a different
how
monster.
dare you offend the greatest Jagger?
That's my bad. I think for the first monster of the game.
Wait, where did you want it?
Oh, sorry. B tier.
Okay, okay.
But I'm flexible on this, but that's where my gut is put him. I think he's a funny, goofy dude, and that is a great first like introductory monster to the game. He fits that role perfectly, as he's just a sack of hit points.
He's the biggest jobber.
Got the goons.
And
He doesn't fight with goons though.
He does,
He does.
He does fight with goons.
Does he?
Yeah.
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 Oh.
Yeah, but it's always so funny where he's gobbling up anything he can, and then like you just beat him up. He's like, no, stop. I always feel a little bit bad for him. But yeah, it's like for like a starting monster, I think he that is epitome of that role.
I think
I
at the
mean-
I think at the end of the tier list, I would keep the Great Jagras at like the bottom of B.
I want to move him down to C for
For what?
being bulimic.
Bulimic?
Because he always beat the food out of
Yeah.
his stomach.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is the Great Jagras a bad influence on teenagers?
Terrible. Terrible.
For me, it's the saving grace for the Great Jagras is the greatest Jagras, that mission in world. It's like
Yeah, that shit was-
it's a 9-star high rank mission, but it gives you like it's the deco farming quest, and it's also bigger than like a gold crown Devil Joe in that quest. And I just think it's fucking hilarious seeing it. And that is like its saving grace to me.
I don't know that quest.
That quest. I love Guardian.
I want to say bottom of A.
Oh, you want to put him higher?
I would bottom of A or top of B. I'll take top of B, but I kind of the same reasons for Puke Puke. I think he's a great introduction monster, like because I think about my introduction to Rise. You have Honey Badger McGee, yeah, you have Winnie the Pooh, right?
Sure.
And like I don't like him as much, right? But like talk about a gimmick of eating other things, right?
Right.
And it catches you off guard because when I played like Try, right, like you fight the Great Jaggy, right, bird wyvern. He's just a raptor, and he's right.
Not that interesting.
And so those guys are really boring for starter monsters. So I do think he is a gimmick for sure. But I think he is a good introduction. He has a cool gimmick, and he is goofy, right?
Yeah.
And he does kind of do the introduction mission. I think teaches you pretty well, like about going back to your den, and in the den there's more Jagras there, right?
Right.
And yeah, the greatest Jagras mission is also. I mean, he's a great pun, right? He's a good skeleton, right? And I guess he's not the original, right? Because I guess Dodo Gama is the original skeleton, and then they made him right afterwards, as the lesser monster. So, for those reasons, I think he is a good monster. I think he has personality. I think he's a good learning tool, and I think he fits the game's aesthetic
I'll
correctly.
keep him up there.
So I think top would be. I think he's he stands out among the of the beginner monsters
Right.
of low rank. So
The Jagresses themselves are not world, right? They're not new to world,
I think they are.
or were they?
Yeah, they're new to world.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, everything on the in Ancient Forest is like pretty much new except for Rathalos.
Yeah, Rathalos, Rathian.
Is Anjanath new?
Anjanath is new.
And
And
Yeah.
Janath is new. He's the box monster.
Yeah.
He's on the box, bud.
Is he?
Yeah.
With Rathalos, they're fighting in the ancient forest.
Oh yeah.
And then the other one for base world was like Nergigante and something else. I don't remember.
So like the only ones that aren't this original aside from like the Elder Dragons. I think Valhazak is the only one that's a new dragon. The Elder Dragon.
Is Nergigante
And
new?
Nergigante
Yeah.
is also a box monster. What? Rathians, the Rathians,
Anyways.
the Rathloses, Oregon.
I'll keep
Anything else?
I'll keep Dragris. Great Jagras higher then.
Yep, I'm okay with where he's at.
He's definitely like a very memorable monster.
What?
Memorable? Memorable?
Rest in peace, great Jaggerist.
Well, yeah, rest in peace. It never came back.
In memoriam.
Its fucking goons came back, but the great Jaggers didn't come back. Fucking unfortunate.
They were hunted to extinction.
Yeah, by me.
Hell yeah.
I did also kill a lot of them.
Oh gosh. All right.
Is it my turn now?
No, it's my turn.
No.
Oh, okay. What?
What?
Also,
That was Josh's pick.
oh, that was Josh's. Okay.
Austin moved the placement, but it was Josh's pick. I'm gonna put Nergigante in S tier above Odogaron. Nergigante in base world is my favorite Elder Dragon out of all of them here. I think his design is super sick. Just like Odogaron, it's like one of the other monsters that I felt truly terrified fighting. Like if Odogaron was like the first monster you felt like fear, like true fear fighting, Nergigante made me shit my pants and I was like, oh my fucking god. I love this monster. I just think it's such a cool design. I love how feral it is, how ferocious it is. The armor is super fucking sick, just spikes all around. And yeah, I mean, I think as its design, it stands out a lot too, out of all the monsters in general. So, I think Nergigante is going in the top of S tier.
Nergigante is the hero,
Nergigante is the hero.
right? He
Nergigante
is the
is the elder dragon that eats other elder dragons. We gotta get him, Pard.
because the story wise, he helps you fight the Zora Magdaros, right?
For his own reasons.
For his own reasons, right? But he is the hero.
Generous term. Who wants to eat this thing?
So he helps you out. He is the hero. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
He actually gets rid of one of the biggest nuisances in the game. So
So
you
come
know,
on, like that's
that's pretty.
He's basically the Punisher of the Monster Hunter world.
You know what? You know what? I gotta give it to you there.
I'm not gonna fight you on this. I think he's exactly where he belongs.
Nerg is super sick. For
And I'm not saying that just because I'm afraid he might beat me up.
Can't remember, but his dual blades were just claws, right?
I'm not sure. I played one weapon.
Can't remember what they're
It's not
called.
clear.
I'm trying to find it. Maybe is it
Uh,
look through a post?
Cutting
Oh,
out
yeah.
again, Andy.
Sorry. Yeah, I think he was the first Elder Dragon I really had trouble with in this game, aside from another monster later on. Well, like the aggression that he had
Yeah.
fights it's so like
The way he moves.
the way he moves. Yeah, it's very aggressive and it's very like in your face. I
That-
loved it.
It's definitely one of the harder skill checks
Yeah.
upon reaching him at this point of the game, wherever you do reach him.
And he has the bleed effect too, right?
Yeah.
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 We
It's
got-
only-
we got-
Leader.
We got two bleedy boys up at top. Let's go.
Yeah, don't move.
Are these the only two
Dare you.
in the base that do bleed effect?
I think so.
Yeah?
We've got a bleeder.
We got
so.
a bleeder. Make sure you bring your jerky to these fights.
God,
Yeah.
Jesus,
Oh, that's
just-
right.
Mhm. I remember for the this monster, I would always bring the hammer, just because I didn't want to deal with any of the when it was sharpened its spikes or it's protruded its spikes.
Oh.
I was
You started
"Fuck it, I'm
bouncing,
not gonna
right?
worry yeah. I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it. Spin move. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, I think it's a good.
Yes, sir. These are my boys up here. Ew.
My turn?
No, I think it's cadet.
Tis my turn. Maybe I just like low rank monsters.
It's because you only
Let's
fight
see.
low rank monsters.
I know, right? That was most of my experience playing this game. Let's go ahead and go put the Legiana. Let's put Legiana at A, low A,
Here.
behind Puku or Puke. I think Legiana's cool. I think its introduction when you see it in the when you first reach the coral reefs,
Coral Island.
Coral Highway.
Coral Highlands, right? It's pretty cool. She is one of the only ice representatives
about to
until
say
we
the
get iced the
soul.
fuck up,
Yeah, the soul
Yeah.
ice monster.
right? So I think it's cool. It's pretty looking. It's one of your first like flying monsters that's new,
Primarily
right?
Yeah.
You get Paulo. I think you see Legiana before Paulo Mulu, right?
No.
No, you see
Paul
Paul
Mulu
first.
Right.
Gotcha.
Because
Well-
I believe Legiana is the skill check on.
In Coral Highlands, yeah.
Gotcha. But the armor is pretty cool for Legiana, right?
It's like a weird
Um,
Sentai, like blue Sentai
That's
Yeah.
right.
armor thing.
So I think it's a nice, solid monster. I think it stands out amongst the other dragonish looking things. Kind of like a butterfly almost, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I like Legiana. Maybe A is a little bit too high for it. But
No. No.
Hey,
I
for
think it deserves its spot.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's a very good looking monster, and it's very it's very unique to once again to world.
to world, yeah.
I think I remember loving not only the fight and the way the monster looked, but its like armor skills. I think it had like evade extender.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think Legiana's armor was pretty
One of the
much
best.
good for bow builds too. Like earlier
Yeah.
bow builds.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It had evade extender and
I think it
Another-
had like a what's the ability? It's like charge plus or something?
maybe
I think it had that ability for its set, because I remember when I played bow, I was building Legiana armor when I wasn't playing Switch Axe.
Talking about base.
Yeah, base.
yeah, and I don't know,
Gave Divine Blessing, Evade Window,
Oh.
Airborne.
Oh, divine blessing.
Blessing, yeah, we go,
Divine
yeah,
blessing.
yeah.
Hold on. We gotta move it up above Puke because of that.
'cause I was like, no, I feel like that's the one that gives you a chance to ignore damage, right? Or is that evade?
Uh,
What was
You
Divine
take less
Blessing-
damage.
Divine Blessing reduces damage.
okay? Reduced. Yeah.
And then the set gave you Good Luck, which would
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
increase quest.
I'm gonna have to
God,
move
yeah.
it above Puke. I feel like it deserves to go above Puke. Just slightly.
Because of the armor.
Yeah, because of that.
I build like very defensive and passive builds for my armor. And Legiana was a great addition to that. To that.
I think it's what is it like 20, 30, 50% chance to take half damage, I think. The skills for Divine
I
Blessing.
believe so. That's how the tier works.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, can you, Ross, do you remember what my armor value was when in the later stages of World? It was like,
It was definitely twice as much as mine, I'll tell you that much.
yeah, I was like, and when you told me armor was like, armor value, I was like, what? And then I realized, oh wait, no, I focused all my efforts on defense. Ross focuses almost all of it on like damage
Attack.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's why I'm not dying as much. It's not because I'm good. It's because I'm focused on defense.
You became our wall.
A ranged wall with a bow, but a wall.
Oh
nonetheless.
yeah, well nonetheless. I mean, does anybody want to put it below Puke? I want to put it above Puke.
I like it above Puke.
I'm fine with it.
Say again?
I'm fine with it as long as it's up on A.
Up an A. We're gonna leave it above Puke for the time
That's
being.
good.
Yeah, we can come back to it. If at the
All right.
That was Boston, right? Yeah.
Can I get Sobe Kadachi?
Toby.
Actually, that's perfect.
Oh, and see.
C. Yeah. I think it's kind of mid. It's not the greatest electric monster you run into. Thunder monster, excuse me. Forget element are now. But I think it's a good intro into it, but it's not the coolest. I do like that it's like a gliding squirrel
Yeah, it's
lizard
got a flying
in its
squirrel
design.
thing.
But its weapon sets introduced one of the problems in World, which was weapon plus fur. If you guys remember,
Say that one
a
more
lot-
time. Say that one more time.
Its weapon set
Mm-hmm.
introduced one of the big problems for me in World, which was the weapon plus fur.
Weapon plus fur?
Yeah. So like,
Oh, there's fur on the weapon or something?
yeah, it's just the fur on the weapon, but there's no like
Oh, the design of the
big-
weapon.
the design of the weapons. Yes. So like, and I think Tobi Kadachi was one of the first ones that had that issue. Had no variants
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
because you get it pretty early.
Yeah.
And yeah, so for that I gotta give it. Like I think it's like personality is like tries to be cool, but it runs away all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. C tier for me.
Coming from a switch axe main in World, none of the weapon designs look that great. So, and I don't think it had a Toby weapon either. But I can see where I see what you're talking about. Like it was just like a dagger, and it had blue fur on it, essentially,
Yeah.
right? And then
Or white fur.
and then
whatever.
you upgrade it to the next one, and it has a bit more tufts of fur. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see how that's an issue. How that's a
Well,
problem.
'cause mind you, I've been playing
Monster Hunter since before, yeah.
since Freedom Unite, which is like what Monster 2.5.
Sure.
So like, before World, more or less all the weapons had a lot of huge variety in looks,
Mm-hmm.
styles, and appearance. So that was kind of a downer for me
Downer,
when it
yeah.
came to World.
That's fair.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, I don't think too much particularly about Toby either. I think C's fine.
It's kind of forgettable. And then like we also forget that he made it into Rise.
Oh, I didn't forget it.
I didn't forget.
I think Toby's just like a lesser Nargacuga,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
right?
yeah.
I
Now
would
that I
Like
think about its
the
movesets,
jumping
yeah.
around, the flippy dippy shit, right?
Spins, yeah.
Not as
Um,
cool. Oh yeah, it also has the tail slam, right?
the tail
Yeah.
slam,
Yeah.
right? So that was I think it, it uses the gimmick of something that's already been existing and it doesn't exceed, you know, or what's the word for like it doesn't break the mold from that kind of archetype.
Right.
So for that reason, right, it doesn't stand out and it's a very mid monster and C is you know middle, right? So
Yeah.
it's not it's just it feels like filler.
Yeah.
Like Toby
Fluff.
feels like filler for sure.
It's literal fluff.
Literal fluff. And
I,
that I'm okay with that.
I liked fight. I remember liking it like decently enough, but I agree with you guys. I don't think it like compared to the other monsters and playing through the entire game, it's like yeah, probably just a mid.
Kind of
I don't-
forgettable.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, it's me.
I think Josh. Yeah.
Gosh, no. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna mess this name. Gore Gore Magdaros?
Zora
Zora
Magdaros,
Zora Mag
the volcano.
yeah, volcano dude.
Uh huh.
I wanna put it in B. And the reason let's put it at the end of B for now until see where how we feel. This first Monster Hunter like real like game for me. I thought it was so cool that this monster was so big that you had to walk on it to fight it.
Climb all around it.
Yeah, and I know it wasn't particularly difficult, but I always loved the missions where you see all the other hunters like like in
Helping
lore
you.
fighting,
Yeah.
helping you like they're shooting things at it. They're trying to fire
Cannons.
cannons and
Ballista.
they're using the Dragonator. That shit is always cool to me. I always love those fights, and it's just a giant walking mountain, a volcano mountain, and I love just these fucking four hunters scrambling at it, hit the fucking weak spot, like little fucking ants. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't remember the armor. I don't remember. I think I remember.
I think it
being
made you look like rock.
They make you look like
Yeah, I think you were just a thick boy.
thick boy. But yeah, I think mainly for the mission and how big the monster was, I feel like it belongs at least at B.
I think my only detractor is that he doesn't have a lot of replay value.
Yeah, I was gonna say like his biggest, like his entire uniqueness about the monster to me is also kind of his biggest detriment. Like it's cool that you're fighting a mountain, but at the same time, it's like ugh, I gotta fight a mountain. You know what I mean?
He's kind of a slog, kind of like the Leshen.
Yeah.
You know, phases, right? You have phases, and I mean, it fits the grandeur, right? And the theming is very cool, but once you kind of get over that, right, it loses its
Appeal?
what's it called? Uh,
Appeal?
Appeal.
there's a
Josh
word I'm
saying
looking for, but yeah, it's like the gimmick is not as exciting anymore.
One and done. Like it's
One
a
and
very
done,
one
right?
and done monster.
The first time, oh,
Yeah.
right, and especially because you start on it, you don't really know it's the monster, right?
Yeah, like the tutorial, like the actual like beginning of the game is you start off on Zora Magdaros.
And then you go back and you realize, oh, this guy's the guy, you know, fucking up the Elder Crossing, or right,
Yeah.
whatever.
Causing.
He's causing the Elder Crossing or whatever.
Yeah.
So story wise, I do give him that props, right? But then, yeah, one and done, and then it's just no longer a feasible thing to do all the time, right?
Yeah.
For like a raid style thing, right? So yeah, I think B is a good spot for it. I appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, the one time though.
For
After
the
that
one time.
after that first time, like I don't want to see you anymore.
He's story, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to be this is the baddie, right?
yeah.
This is the initial baddie until you realize,
He's
oh,
just going somewhere to die, though, right? That's, or am I misremembering? He's going to trying to get to the graveyard.
Is that what?
I-
I can't remember.
I don't remember if it's trying to die or if it's trying to feast.
I thought I was trying to feast.
One of the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Google, what does Zora Magnaros want with me?
Out of his way.
All right. I believe to Roz.
hmm.
The Zora Magdaros attempts to sojourn to the Everstream in an attempt to appease an unknown urge.
So
I'm trying to fuck.
yeah, it's horny.
Yeah.
He's trying to reproduce. And then Nergigante's like, nah, I want that. Let's see.
Give me the boosty boost.
I want to grab Angie. And I want to put Angie. I think I want to put Angie at the bottom of A. Anjanath is, I think, is this the first brute wyvern you encounter in World?
Yeah, it should be.
Or
Yeah.
do you fight Baroth first?
No, Baroth is in the wild.
But you get but you get access to it earlier.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I think it is the first brute. Yeah, well, I mean, you see him. You're running away from him, aren't you? In like one of the beginning quests.
Oh,
right?
I guess
Oh
so,
yeah.
Wait, you're not necessarily fighting him, but
You're right.
you
Right.
just- yeah,
Literally
yeah.
in the intro quest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Right, you find the Jagras, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Right? He comes up and he fucks your shit up, and he
That's
breaks down
right.
the gate. Right?
Yeah, that is such an impression. It's the monster you're running away from. It's a fucking T-Rex, bro. Like, come on now.
Fire breathing T-Rex.
It's a fire-breathing T-Rex in a game where I was going into thinking that there's nothing but like dragon-like monsters, right? Because I didn't know what Monster Hunter World was my first monster. I didn't know what the designs were, and you only see like Rathalos and Rathian because they're like the premier monster of Monster Hunter. Seeing this great Jagras, I mean, okay, it's a goofball, and then a fucking fire-breathing Tyrannosaurus Rex chasing you down. This shit is so fucking cool. Oh my goodness, it's the only brute wyvern that I look at. I'm like, this is so cool. You are truly a brute, and it's like this is like your first skill check too in like the ancient forest.
Yep.
This is where you're like, okay, I fought the Jagras, I fought Puke Puke, Kulu Yaku. What's next? Oh, you gotta hunt the Anjanath. Oh, okay. Fucking failed the first time. All right, okay. I guess I need to switch up my gear, learn how to actually fight a monster. All right. I think Anjanath is the point of Monster Hunter where you're like, okay, there's more to this game than just swinging and missing. And
Yeah,
I do like what Anjanath does to you early game. So I think he should be somewhere in A at the very least.
I wholeheartedly agree, and
I
more.
Imagine putting him in lower.
I like him because he also kind of taught me, in the sense that breakable parts and with his
Oh, like
with its fin?
yeah.
Oh,
and he has like the rage mode too, right, where he gets angry.
yes.
Oh yeah.
So he's
The
kinda
first
like
monster went enraged to like
In-
change their look to show off that they
Correct.
are enraged too. Yeah.
Correct. So he's like angry, right? And yeah, he's like the first like two phaser
Yeah,
kind of monster.
like
So
obvious two phase.
yep. So I like everything you said and those just add on.
Yeah,
So
I don't like that his weapon though is the first weapon that introduces negative infinity. That's a minus.
what are
That's
you
a
talking
minus.
about?
You're right.
Just
We don't
do
we don't
big
use that.
damage. Just do big damage.
If you had enough crit, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
This is so early in the game.
No,
You're not
that's-
gonna have that. You're not gonna have any crit, bro. You're gonna have any crit when you get this monster's weapon.
If you have negative infinity, does that give you negative crits?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was the case.
I think it's like negative. It's negative 30, so it's like a 30% chance to do less damage. I think that's what.
I forget what the amount.
Is it really
There's like a whole formula.
I thought it would be like negative 15, maybe negative 10. But is it negative 30?
It starts off at negative.
Andy's cool. It's also a
Andy's
box
cool.
monster. It is
Also a box monster.
So a box.
I think the PS4 disc it showed Anjanath and Rathalos fighting.
Yeah. I think it's not until you like download the game onto your console is when
You see
Uh,
Nergigante on there.
you're onto.
Yeah.
Technically 2 boxes. Loading screen maybe. I don't
So maybe not box monster, but it's like
It's a cover cover
it's-
monster.
it's all in the promotional
featured.
featured. Yeah.
Featured,
monster,
heavily
featured
featured.
monster.
All right. Who's up?
Boston.
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 So I'll do a somewhat controversial pick, but bagel juice. Put that boy up in S, please. Bottom of S.
tier.
What a
S
sick
tier.
monster. The bombing runs, right?
AC 130
I'm
inbound.
AC 130 inbound. I'm a big airplane guy, right? And he just screams, right? Airplane to me.
Yeah.
He's got a cool gimmick, right? So bombing run, it teaches you how to space, right?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
one of the one of the few blast monsters, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
In
One
this
of the
game,
few
yeah.
or the only blast monsters.
Until for base.
For base, correct.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for the gray, red, black, tan
Color scheme
palette.
is amazing on it.
Is amazing. One of your, I would say the introduction monster to the to the Elder Recess, but no, that's reserved to our god.
Yeah.
But the first raiding invader, right? The first
Yeah,
invader.
that was the word
Yes.
I was looking for. I was trying to
So-
figure out what it was. Yeah, Invader.
So he just goes in, fucks your shit up. Unlike the guy who goes in, fucks your shit up by flashing you, right? He's actually
He's actually a
bit
menace.
of a threat, right? He's a true menace.
Yeah.
He's annoying in a good way, right? Like ZZ was annoying in a frustrating way. Bagel Geese was more annoying in a different sense.
Like you hated seeing him in the hunt, but you knew that if he was there, some shit like fun shit is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He will attack
Um,
your.
Yeah, he will attack your monster.
He will attack you and attack your monster, and yeah, and just once you get him on the ground, he has a cool kind of like crouching stance a little bit, right?
Mhm.
He is overall one of a very unique monster. I mean, he has a fun nickname, right? The memes help out. So yeah, I really
Bagel.
like the basil.
Is Bagel is Basil world or is it?
Yes.
It's a world
It's a
monster.
world introduction. Yep.
Oh, very cool. We got world monsters in this
World
S tier,
first.
brother.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have so many
If I'm not mistaken, Andy, World had a good amount. I don't want to say the most, but it had.
Yeah.
Did it have
had
the
a
most
lot
new monsters?
for the base game?
Yeah, to introduce in the generation, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, because I can't think of. Maybe Try is up there. But yeah, 4 did not introduce that. 2 didn't introduce that. I want to say World was up,
Yeah.
if not
so-
number 1, number 2.
Wasn't this a
And
budget game
if
too?
so, World wasn't the budget game, was it?
No,
No way,
No.
World.
no way.
I don't think so. No way.
This was like their big like, hey, if we don't,
This was their
Does-
Hail Mary.
yeah, because
right?
this was their Hail Mary because
Hmm.
they, for some reason, Capcom thought that Monster well in the West.
It didn't.
It didn't.
Did
Yeah,
it
it
not?
didn't do well.
No.
It didn't do
Okay.
well in the West.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe it's because it was more portable.
Yeah, it's because it's portable. The at the time, right?
Focus.
The gameplay loop didn't really work out, right? Because what this came out in what
World
PS3
came out
era, right?
Talking about World?
World, yeah.
World, was
World came out
28.
in 2018.
What am I?
Yeah, it's only
P-
6.
Did I say I meant PS4 era?
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I don't. Yeah, I said PS3, but I 100% meant PS4.
Okay.
Yeah, because like HD graphics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
True HD graphics. But what I'm trying to say is like in the time of when it came out, right? I feel like this type of like co-op gameplay loop wasn't really popular, right? We were more in that team-based shooter kind of,
yeah.
right? Team-based team-based PvP rather than team-based
PVE.
PvE. So, it came out at a really good time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, you can tell everything here is like all the monsters have personality and they stand out in their own way.
Right.
Yep. Very polished. Alright. It's me now, right?
Yeah. I keep looking at these monsters now and I'm like, these monsters are kind of.
I know we're
Alright, well, speaking of newer monsters, can I get Kulu Yaku?
Kuluyaku.
Can I get that boy mid B right in the middle? Again, a good introductory, one with a different
got it.
style. I think he's the introductory monster for the desert area. If I'm
No.
mistaken? Is he
no
not?
It's the second monster you fight in the ancient forest.
Ninja Forest.
Oh, you find him in ancient. Okay.
It's the
Yes,
monster.
no,
It's
no.
the monster you fight for to introduce base camps.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, either way, I think it's quirky. I like
Yeah.
its gimmick of like digging up eggs and rocks to throw at you.
Depending on the area, right? Depending
Yeah.
on the map, which is cool.
I think it's the better version of the ones that use the skeleton. I'm looking at you, CT. I think it has a lot of personality. I like that it's a coward. Like it purposefully runs away. So like has food in its hand,
Yeah.
which is its gimmick. So I like the set early on is pretty okay, right? Like it's
He
not like
teaches you to kind
Yeah.
of position, right? Don't hit him in the front.
Yeah.
don't hit him in the front. He teaches you to like, hey, maybe attack him from the side where he doesn't do any attacks. Yeah, so I think it's a good. I think it's just a good mid monster. Excuse me.
I mean, they're mons.
They're-
It means
they're
the same thing,
mons.
but let's use proper verb. Yeah, that's yeah. That's it. That's all I got to say about.
Yeah. In addition to everything you said right now, it's a gimmick monster, right? And it's one of the. It's an interesting gimmick, but it's not a great gameplay gimmick. I think. Right, like I like that he can pull up the skull, the egg, a
Pot.
rock,
A vase.
pot, right? Random objects.
Yeah, depending on.
But he's just kind of annoying to fight, right? He's kind of annoying. That's what I have to say about him.
Yeah, in terms of world, right? Because the first monster you fight is a great drag race. He doesn't move around too much, so you're not having like to chase down this monster. The Kulu is the second monster you fight, and you're like, I can't believe this monster's running away again. It starts getting annoying in like the early stage of that game. But yeah, it's fine. There's nothing too terribly wrong about it, and there's nothing great about it. So it's fine here in B for me too. Well,
I think,
Alright.
Yep, I've got nothing else to add.
There he lives.
why is it looking at me like that though?
It's
I
like
was
looking
gonna
at
say
you dead on.
Some of these monsters look you dead on, but for some reason his picture feels like it's boring into your soul.
It's
those
the
beady
eyes.
beady
Yeah,
eyes.
the beady eyes. It's got blue eyes.
Is it my turn?
Yes,
Who put Kulu?
I did.
That was
Okay, yeah.
My turn then.
Kuliyaku.
Kulu Yaku.
Radoban? Am I saying that
This
right?
one?
Yeah.
Yes, Radobon.
Boy.
Bone Roller.
Bone Boy. Let's put him B. That's what I'm feeling. I guess I think I put a few of them in a B now. Above Zor Magdaros and above Gyros. Yeah. I really like this monster, just because it's a bit goofy. It's a bit. I wouldn't call it threatening because I was never threatened of this monster in the Rotten Vale, which I think is the only place it shows up.
Mm.
But I always like fighting this monster because at this time I was heavily using hammers, and I would always just get. I love the serotonin I got every time I broke off one of the bones. I got the little message saying broken part, broken part, broken part. Especially when I did the fucking spinning in the air move. It was always so fun. I like how it just rolls around to get to each area. I don't remember ever using any of its armor, except for maybe for the Palico. And the sleep effect almost probably only got me once, and that's it. And I don't know why it has that effect. It feels so out of place, but that kind of makes it even more fun.
Yeah, but like the entire thing about this monster just feels out of place.
Feels out of place. I mean, the only ties that it has to it is that it lives in the Rotten Vale, so that's why it has bone, and it lives in the bone piles. That's why it's got all those bones stuck to it. It displaces tar, right, on the ground. That's why. That's what it's like.
No?
No, I don't think so.
It's
think
not
so.
I thought it had a little black sludge as well.
I don't
Mm,
remember.
I don't think so.
But yeah,
I-
that's all.
If I can add, I like that you can mine off its back.
Oh
Can
yeah,
mine
that's
bones
so
off its back?
funny.
Yep.
Both the Radoban and Uragan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, God, yeah. I like the Roly Boys.
You heard it here first, boys.
The Roly Boys.
The Roly Boys.
I would place like Radobon a bit higher and be just I think
I'm okay with a bit higher.
I like it
It's-
better than
yeah.
the Kulu.
yeah, I think its entire like just so awkward in where it's at and like in this game, it's like all these monsters move in a way that you think they would move. Like they would just walk or they would fly. Then all of a sudden this big ass fucking monster covered in bones just gotta go
Rolling
fast.
around. At the speed of sound.
Pass by you. I think it's so funny.
Oh, yeah, it would just pass by you. Like,
Yeah.
when you're in the Rotten Vale.
It does drive-bys. It just passes by you and just like, you just look at it, you see it go away, and you're like, all right, I'll just continue my hunt. See you later.
Or if you don't get out of the way, you get run over.
Nah, he's pretty good at watching for pedestrians.
He's actually not, because I think he.
No, he is not. I've been hidden many times
I don't get hit by this monster.
in the middle of
oh.
carving or shit.
I meant to mention it with the basil geese, but I have many memories when fighting the basil geese um of just being screaming for what either you or my friends or my palico to hit me because I've been stunned and I'm sitting right next to a bomb about to go off. And that was always both funny and a bit frightening for the fighting the basil geese.
Or-
Marbles, help me, please!
Good times.
But that's it.
Anything else to say about the Uragon? Anyone?
The
Well, that's the
Uragon.
Radobon.
This is the Radobon.
Radobon, excuse me.
Same time, I feel like they'll go be in the same spot.
No, I don't like the Uragon. as
No.
Not as high.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's it for me then.
much. This is also World, right? World.
Uh,
Rado
Radobon,
is,
yeah.
Nah.
is yeah, but
Rado.
Euro is not.
I think I'm gonna grab the even greater Jagras.
The
The even
the Golden Jaggers.
the golden. I think I want to put the golden Jagras in S tier. It's a big Jagras, right? Covered in gold. That's pretty cool. It's the actual like siege monster, right? Because Zoro Magdaros is like a story siege monster. You have to do it with like your lord buddies, blah blah blah, whatever. But then this cool Teroth, cool Teroth, like introduces the fact that you have to go into the it made the gathering hub like an actual place to be aside from just hanging out with your friends together, because that's the only place you would see like your other hunters in the not the guild but like in the lobby, because you don't see them in like the base lobby.
No,
That's like the solo lobby.
Right.
But then you go into the gathering hub and you see everybody there, but the gathering hub really doesn't do anything. But then they introduce Koltarov, and the gathering hub is still this. It still features the same like process or whatever. But this time you see like all 16 hunters in this gathering hub, and you're like, okay, these are everybody that's helping me. You go into the fight. Phase 1 is like use bombs, use traps, try to get it to run away. And then you see all these like parts broken by this team, parts broken by this team. Oh, your team broke this. You guys are getting more points and stuff like that. That's super cool to see. And then you make it to phase 3 and you actually have to fight the monster itself. Oh, it's such a super sick fight. It starts to like emulate the cavern that it's in, and all like lava's falling around. You're trying to maneuver through it, and then all the weapons are covered in gold. Does it have it has an armor set, right?
it does.
Yep.
I always used it. I agree with you that this monster belongs in S tier. I think it might be. I think it's above Basil Geese personally. The armor set. I think I changed the gender. I used the one free voucher ticket you got for World, and I changed the gender of my character, just because I didn't like the way the armor looked on the male character. But I loved all the stats for it. I was like, and I remember seeing the female version. I think it was on Andy or maybe no, I forget who had the female character at the time.
Probably
I was like,
Andy.
Probably
okay.
not me.
It was either me or Austin.
Yeah, so,
Pro-
okay.
Not me. I don't think I had it.
Yeah, so it's probably me.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll change it. And then, God, it was a great armor. I think I used their armor for the entire rest of my time playing it. And then,
Well, until I.
yeah, until yeah, and then yes, yeah, and then as it got phased out, I got a little sad. It's like, no, my armor.
It's also funny that you don't actually in base. You don't kill Koltarov. You just break its horn off.
Yeah.
Yep, and then it just scatters away.
Yeah.
Until
I
next
also-
time.
It's
Until
boring.
like, And like, unlike Zora Magdaros, where you want to do it once and you're like, this is so lame.
I
You want to do
remember just
Cool
reading
Terov?
multiple times.
Yeah.
Over and over. And
She was
mean, 'cause it's
timed,
also
right?
worth it.
Like
Yeah.
you can only do it like on Friday nights at 7 or something, or something like
It was
that.
like
right?
once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a weekend event
Weekend.
every other 3 weeks or something. And it warranted too, because like some of the best weapons in base world were from Cool Terov.
Yeah.
I think all of the weapons were because they took your best weapon and made it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
Change its
remember
element, you know.
my base like ending set was it was a golden like Great Jagras weapon. I was like, the Great Jagras weapon is not that good, but it's like it made the attack much better, and it had hidden sleep from the Great Jagras part, but it added even more to it. And I was like, okay, this is now my weapon. This is what I'm going to use.
Yeah, it made all the weapons that got left behind.
You're cutting out, Andy.
Sorry, it made all the weapons that were left behind due to creep and shit better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And gave him a gold coating.
Yeah.
I always also love the memes about it just being the greatest Jagras.
Yeah, it is. Before the
I mean-
greatest Jagras, it was, yes, the greatest, the greater Jagras.
I mean, you have to have the balls to make your basic ass bitch monster your raid monster,
Right.
Yeah.
built in.
God.
So
And it worked.
it was ballsy and it worked.
You can also like superheat their like gold armor. I can't remember if I think this made it easier to hit, but
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
it being really cool.
It made it changed its resistance.
Right, right. Oh, I also like the little. You also had like, since it was a whole new map, you had your own little endemic life there. That you
Yeah,
could,
gold bugs and stuff like that.
and the snake, worm thing from in like Japanese mythology. I forget the Tsukuyami or something like that. That was the rare find.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that little
Remember,
I'll move it
Being
up.
very
Where do
happy.
we want to move it above?
at least above Basil Geese. I'm not sure about Odegaran. What do you guys think?
yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Look at its picture too. It's just so it's so
It's
elegant,
gleaming.
bro. It's so nice. It's so nice to look at.
It's like looking over its shoulder, like, try and get me. You won't.
Yes, we will, bitch.
Hard to get.
I think we're on to Bosti.
Oh yeah, it also did the greatest Jagras roll as well as one of its.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It
Yeah, but it
uses the
was-
skeleton.
Far more.
Yeah, it went.
It's
so
much more effective. The effect is more effective, right? All right. Let's go for Diabolos. I like him. Diabolos is A for me. Let's say bottom of A. Definitely.
Are
a skill
these
check.
different enough to be in separate?
No, I feel like.
I think we can bundle them together. One's just a
just-
harder version of it, right?
harder.
Yeah, unless Andy has something else to say about
No.
these two.
I just had a lot of trouble with black.
Well, yeah, it's just harder Diablos, but they're the same monster essentially.
Yeah, I think they're similar enough that they don't need to be separated. But yeah, Diablos is it's a legacy monster. I personally like it a little bit more than the Rathlos, especially just because of personal problems of it being more difficult for myself. But I'll say that it does shine in world in particular due to the area you find it in, right?
The wildfire.
The sand dunes and how it can it makes sense when it burrows in the sand dunes.
Right.
The nest is pretty cool underneath it, and it's like there's like sand falling all around you, right? And the environmental effects of like of it hitting the walls or the like the big boulders
Right.
is really cool. So as a legacy monster, but not only that, I think the environments of world kind of highlight the personality of it, especially because like they have the cactuses and two, right, and just going around eating the cactuses. I think it was a very natural fit for World.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Wildspire skill check too.
Yep,
Definitely a skill check.
Yeah.
definitely my
definitely
skills were
failed
checked.
Failed it a few times.
Like I remember going back into just high rank, with G rank gear and having trouble with the
Regular
dual
Diablos.
Diablos, dual Diablos quest.
Dude,
like,
I
Yeah, it's insane. I love it. I've always hated it in older games. It's become a little more bearable with the quality of life changes. Not standing still while you're taking potions and
Right.
all the
Oh
other
yeah, I didn't
changes.
even think about that. The world changes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I can't
even then,
imagine
it's
standing still to
still
take a potion.
And even then, it was still difficult.
Remember standing still to sharpen your weapon?
Yeah.
No more
Still had to
doggy
do that in
riding.
World.
oh right.
You
Right.
still had to sharpen World. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
Right,
you're
yeah.
sharpening in
Yeah.
World, right? So it's like that. You have to take a break to sharpen.
yeah,
Um,
but with every other thing.
with every
Well,
other thing, right?
That sounds terrible.
That's probably another reason. I mean, there was plenty of reasons why World did so much, but the quality of life changes made it hugely more
yeah, more accessible.
accessible. Yes, one.
They cut out a lot of the some of the BS. I'm not gonna say all the BS. Some of the
Yeah. Did people complain about? I bet people did about like
before, no,
No, that was just a skill.
because it was just part of the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I meant like, did they complain? As, oh, they're making it too easy. It used to.
no, I think everyone kind of accepted it. Like,
Well,
it was
that's
more like finally.
no. That's a conversation that always happens, but it happens with every single video game, anyways.
My thing is like, at least for this, like, fine. If you want to stay still, stay still. Make it hard. Make the game harder for yourself if you want it to be
If
like
you
that.
must, if you must. Diabolos.
Diabolos.
I don't like that its weapon has negative affinity.
Just do big
But it
damage.
hits
Shut
so
the
hard.
fuck
It
up.
hits. It hits
Just
so
gotta do
hard,
big
though.
damage.
It legitimately hits so hard.
Yeah, that's true. I just see negative affinity and I cry.
Raw's exact same. I used the hammer for the later part, and I still wouldn't choose the affinity
Dude,
negative
his-
hammer.
So there was ways around it.
Well, yes, but when you're like Josh and I, and this is your
You
first
don't do
monster,
big damage.
and this is your first Monster Hunter like game,
Yeah.
and you see a negative number and it's a negative value, why would you pick the negative value? Why would you do that?
Because the raw is so.
Because your damage is.
I mean, yeah, because I get it, because you don't know the way around it.
I don't know the way
It is
around it. Not yet, right?
All right. I mean, that's a discussion.
Yeah. Diablos.
I don't know which one should go above which one.
I'm just
Let's
messing
put the
with it.
black below it.
hey. Why?
It's less fun.
Okay. That was Austin's pick. So Andy.
Well, since we're looking at OG, let me get Rathian. Top
Top where?
top of
You're
Top of C.
You're cutting out at the letter C.
Sorry.
Okay.
My reasoning is, it is a skill check. It's an early skill check. I don't think it brings too much. I mean, it might be. I believe it might be the first monster that uses projectiles on you.
Like
but
actively
it does-
uses projectiles.
I mean,
Yeah.
kinda. Kulu Q kind of has
Oh,
projectile,
and
right?
Puku
Okay.
Muku too, right?
Puku has-
Puke. Sorry, Puke.
Sorry, Puku.
Okay, that's the Pokemon. But yeah, I mean also fireballs, right? Uh,
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I don't think it's. I'm just kind of over it because it's
Right.
so
Yeah. It is
it's in
the
every Monster Hunter
it
game
is the legacy monster. It is the premier. Like
next to its husband. But
you're right.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'll say it. Rathian's filler,
For Rathalos, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
Rathian's just filler.
pretty
Guess
much
yeah.
until you get to, you know, Iceborne, where it does have its like crazy mode. But
Right.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree.
because at least for me, right? Because like I said, World is my first Monster Hunter game,
Uh,
and seeing Rathian actively flying around was pretty cool. Uh, I see where you're coming from. Like you're sick and tired of it. I've only seen it in 2 games, and I still think I still think it's a cool monster. Do I think it's C? I guess maybe it is mid. Maybe Rathian itself is mid.
Rathian is mid.
Rathian.
Like it's not
Rathian is
bad.
the introduction to Rathalos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Queen of the
So,
Skies.
So what about Pink Rathian?
Well, you're next.
I mean,
so do you want to
right
put?
there with it.
Okay. Do you
Are they
wanna-
are they
I would put
similar
it
enough?
above it because it does fight slightly differently.
I would put it above it. Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily harder. It just does different things more. I think if
I
I'm
think
not
it has a
mistaken,
harder shell.
Pink uses fireball more often, whereas
Mm.
green likes the backflip more often. If I'm not mistaken. But I mean, again, not a big difference in my opinion.
I think it's funny because Rathian is like that monster where is one of the monsters where you like not learn to call out, but it's like that first monster where you have a call out for something.
The
'Cause-
telegraphing, right, is
Yeah.
a good
The tele
is
Oh,
a
I
good
see.
teaching skill.
Yeah. Okay.
It's that monster where you're like, okay, this is something you have to look out for in these monsters and stuff like that. And I think it's funny because when we first played and we're getting hit by backflip, we start learning what what backflip looks like. So we're in the hunt going backflip, backflip, get out of the way. I think that's like a nice strong point for Rathian because it does introduce that level of play to it. But I do see it is a very mid monster still.
And it's just overshadowed by hubby, right? So
Yeah.
I think, but
I mean, its colors are more vibrant. That's for sure. The Rathalos, I mean.
I also don't like the Rathian armor.
Oh, the weird
aspect
knight
of it.
armor. Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked it on the females because you
no,
got like this big
it's like a
Victorian
dress.
queen dress,
Yeah, I don't know.
Victorian dress.
I'll
It was
pass
very
on.
Joan of Arcish.
And as good as World looks too, some of the monsters, their colors look kind of I don't know what the word is, like muted or like faded. It looks kind of it doesn't look as good as like you would think they would.
It's a little washed out.
Yeah, washed out's a good word too because of how World is supposed to be like almost hyper realistic in a
More
sense.
realistic,
Yeah.
yeah. Less cartoony.
Which they quote unquote fix in Rise, but we're not talking about that at the moment. But
No.
I think that also is a detriment to like some of the monster designs, especially the legacy monsters.
Yeah.
All right, Rathian's here. Poor Goral.
Me next, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's get the mudfish boy, Giratodus. Bu- 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 I think also see between the Rathians and the Hidachi.
I thought it was like between the Rathians.
Weird one. Yeah. This is my does I don't want to say this one's too memorable, not for me at least. The,
It's kind of
it's a monster.
uninteresting.
Yeah, it's a monster that sort of just makes sense to me. Like, like, like some of them are like fantastical, and like have supernatural like abilities, or like they're sort of like goofy looking. And this one is a bit goofy looking, but like, if you told me that this was actually just a dinosaur at one point, it's like, oh yeah, I could see that.
It could have
Uh,
existed.
it could have existed, like maybe. Um, I liked that you could shoot its mud off with water pods to make the fight easier, or to get its like armor off. I hated walking through its mud, but that's its shtick.
Skill issue.
Yeah, skill issue. I mean,
Well,
I say
it
that, but I was
teaches you
close.
how to use the wire, not the wire bugs, the
Sling.
slingers, and how to like.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
so-
it is a good teaching moment. If you guys, but I don't know. But beyond that, that's pretty much where it is. I don't think I remember. I don't think I ever used. I might have used its waist, because I think I had like evade extender or something like that on it. I don't know. Can't remember.
It's one of the only water monsters.
Yeah.
Which doesn't do much for it.
No.
I didn't.
Is that a
didn't
good
use-
thing?
It's just like a little. It's like a little tag on it. One of the only
Yeah.
water monsters. That's about it.
It's
Yeah,
the
that's
only water monster, right?
In base,
The only
yeah.
water
Yeah.
monster.
Yeah.
So
I think his weapon also had negative affinity.
it did not. No.
Okay, never mind.
So. I could be wrong, but I think.
Never mind.
Yeah, Gyarados is it's a little bland. I feel like like Monster Hunter Tri with the with its
Swimming.
focus on water kind of was a better introduction to that. Yeah, he's just a little boring, and like once again, kind of like the Great Gyros. It's like a gimmick. It's a cool gimmick, and it teaches you, but it's a bad gameplay gimmick.
Yeah.
Right? It's a unfun gameplay gimmick. So
Did you mostly fight it in like the high waisted or
Yeah.
the high
It's always in
high
the
wa-
mud.
river,
yeah,
high water,
the mud,
yeah.
the
It's always
swamp.
in the mud.
So it's
I mean,
always
why,
it's
why
always
would
such
it
a
fight you anywhere else? But yeah, it's always.
yeah.
So
It's always
gimmicky,
trudging
right?
along, and it's not that fun.
Yeah.
Look at its
Like
teeth.
it does
bro.
what it looks like it does.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Swims in the mud and spits
It
mud at
doesn't
you.
surprise you.
Huh?
All right. We're back to
Back
Ross.
to the top. Ugh. I think Baroth. I think Baroth is B. There's nothing like. There's nothing. I think the monster itself is like mid. Also, there's no. There's no like. That's what I'm looking for. It's not unique enough for me to be like, oh yeah, this monster is so cool. I want this monster everywhere. It's not that unique, but it makes choo-choo trains noises. So
Yeah, that's good.
that is the only reason why it should be like an above average monster, because it goes toot toot and it charges
You know,
you.
like, it
I
must be-
believe it's the first monster you encounter where you can bounce off of it. Like it's the first monster with hard points
He's hard.
He's horde. Probably, yeah.
and teaches you to look for weak spots instead of just hitting, random spots.
Yeah.
Unless you have a hammer.
Unless you have a hammer. Well, I mean, but then that goes with like different weak spots for different
Weapon types
weapon types.
or attack types
Uh,
rather.
Does
Yeah.
Is it a legacy monster, or is this a world?
It's a legacy monster.
It's a legacy. I believe it shows up in
Try.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing out of the ordinary with this monster. I mean, it's a brute wyvern, so it has the T-Rex skeleton, but it
Yeah.
doesn't do it as well. It goes toot toot, and that's pretty cool.
I like its armor set. It's very like defensive.
Yeah. No, sir.
A plus for me, a negative for Ross.
Well, I think specifically, it was the only set that got guard, which was you take no chip damage while blocking,
Hmm.
which was
Oh.
kind of special.
Yeah, I didn't have any guard weapons when I played World.
Yeah,
Play
you
great
were
sword.
Yeah, we know.
thick bowman.
I played one weapon in World.
Played so
Oh
many.
yeah, what was that?
Huh?
And what was that?
The bow.
Hey guys, at least I wasn't a longsword user.
Fucking hate longsword users.
Manny was a longsword user.
Man, he was the longsword. Still is the longsword user.
Still is a longsword user. Yeah, Choo Choo Boy goes into B for me, above Zoro at the very least. Yeah, Choo Choo Charles. B for Choo Choo Charles.
I'm
B
cool
for
with it.
Baroth.
B for Baroth.
B for barrel.
Austin,
Yeah.
your turn.
Oh wait. Look at its knee. Look at his kneecap. It's got a little thing on it. It's got a little swirl. This looks ugly.
That's a hip though.
Oh, it's even worse then. Okay, go on. I just wanted to point that out.
I'll go into. Let's go with the Valhazak.
Valhazak.
Was
Maybe
Glass-
high C.
Ooh.
I think one of my it is one of my least favorite Elder Dragons to fight.
Yeah.
Its
Yeah.
theming is awesome, right? Rod and Veil is very cool. But honestly, I don't get to see it much because it's hiding in its goop. Right? It's very goopy, spider
Yeah.
webby, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a good concept. Maybe middling execution. It does the laser beam stuff, right?
Mhm.
Which is cool, but then it's like I'm saying, like Puke has the laser beam, but it is not punishing. This one definitely is punishing, right?
Mhm.
You have to
Effluvia.
you have to be effluvia resistant, right? Unless you, I wouldn't say have to be, but it wants you to be effluvia resistant, right?
Mhm.
It's a very you have to. It's not a very free feeling fight, right? As in
Yeah.
like you can, if I'm fighting the Rathian, I can use any set I want, and right, but you kind of have to gear up specifically for this one, and
Yes.
that's what Monster Hunter's about, right? Preparing for your next hunt, but this one, it felt very limiting in that regard. So yeah, Valazak
Its
I would
saving
just say
grace
poor
is
execution.
its design, like the monster design itself.
Yeah,
I think it's
fucking
amazing.
sick.
But
really-
just fighting it is such a chore.
Yeah,
I-
I
don't
don't think
remember
it exceeds that for me.
I get that. I don't remember having that much of an issue, but then again, like, I just diverted all my defense points into like effluvia resistance.
Well,
the
that's
shit.
again, you're a very defensive. You have a very defensive play style,
Yeah.
so that's fine because you're building defense anyways.
Yeah.
And you were also playing bow probably.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, he was playing bow.
For this one, Rob. I think is what was his weakness? Was it fire?
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was using dual blades against him then.
Okay, because I was gonna say this monster and another monster in the list. When the monster, when being close to the monster is detrimental, that's so
Feels
lame.
bad, man.
That's so lame. Like, I'm using a melee weapon, but if I go next to you, just by standing next to you, I'm taking some sort of damage or I'm taking some sort of effect.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
I get that. I think it was either a dual blades or the insect wave because I was using that as well during.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like poor execution unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna continue that theme of standing next to a monster and it having adverse effects on you, can we get? Oh my god, I can't remember its name all of a sudden. Hold on.
Which one?
I just thought about
I
it.
can tell
It's,
you. I can tell you. Just tell me which one.
It is. Hold on, I got the list
What
here.
color is it? I can tell you which one.
Kushala Diora.
Yeah, okay.
Can I get that down there in C as well? Maybe between Gyarados and the
I'll put it in
Rathians?
fucking D, bro.
No.
Well, it does have some qualities,
Yeah.
redeeming qualities. Again, so a returning monster. So like, I mean, a majority, if a majority of the Elder Dragons in this game are new, old. I believe this one is the oldest of what's available, if I'm not
It's
mistaken.
Monster Hunter 2, right?
It's a monster. Yeah. Or you know what, Teosho's in that game too, so I maybe tied with the oldest, but
I thought Kushala, Teostra, and in my head it was Kieran. They were like the trifecta.
Kieran is the oldest.
But it was actually in Rise. It was Chameleos, right? That's the.
Chameleos. No, Chameleos was in Freedom Unite, so that's like 2.5.
Oh, okay, never mind. But anyways,
There's need to that. But yeah. Not too important, but yeah, I hate his fucking wind effect. It you know, the whole thing with
was it always like
Valhalla-
that?
yeah, even in the older games.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So you had to have like wind resistance specifically just to
Right.
like if you wanted to do a melee build. No, even it blocked
It blocked
Yeah,
range,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, it did block arrows.
So it's like
I don't think you can
it's,
get around that.
it was
like-
not fun. It's not fun.
It is the equivalent. It's the Monster Hunter equivalent to immunity phases, and immunity phases are never fun.
Yeah. The only redeeming quality is the weapons look sick.
I think the monster looks fucking amazing too.
Yeah.
I
I
know
mean,
it's like sort of
A
basic,
Diamond Storm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it invokes such a Western theme of a dragon,
Right.
like even more so than like the Rathalos.
And I hold one older grudge. So this goes back to Freedom Unite, fighting it for the first time and realizing that it's weak to poison.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the older games, maps had load times
Yes.
Oh yeah.
between zones. So I had poisoned it in its like last phase, and it dies mid map transition,
Oh,
Boo.
and I couldn't carve it.
Boo.
And I've held a grudge against it ever since.
Boo.
oh,
Thank God for modern gaming.
It like died in the middle of a transition, so like I couldn't reach it. Because it was like flying to its nest, and it never made it to its nest.
Boo.
What a boo boo monster, man.
Yeah. I'd put it lower, but it's too cool to be in D.
Yeah. It has the same thing with Valhazak. Like its monster design is its saving grace, but
Yeah.
its like gameplay loop is not fun to deal with.
God, I want to fight for it harder, but I think
Fight for it! Fight for it! Let me hear
Let's
it.
hear it.
Wait,
I want
but
to see you
But
cook.
the thing is, I know for a fact, I'm looking through rose-tinted glasses. And I'm
That's
thinking about
fine.
how, like, all I can think of is, because I completely forgot that it like blows you back.
Hey, yo.
God, I just remember thinking like fighting it at the top of the mountain in the Elder Recess was so cool because that was basically his area. I think that maybe the Nergigante went up there as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, at the very top, right? The nesting area.
That it was so cool. I don't know. I remember farming it for a bit, but I think I'm forgetting all the frustrations I had about not being able to hit it, and like how cool this dragon looked, how much of a D&D dragon it reminded me of.
Mm.
and that's why.
We
I
can
know-
move
I
it
know
above the
about
Rathians if you want.
above the Rathians,
I'd
I
move
know.
it above the Rathians.
Okay, cool.
I think it's the worst of the Elder Dragons, though.
Kushala?
Even more
It's
so
the
than
worst to
Gaul.
deal with.
Yeah.
Because you could still hit Valhazak.
Yeah.
You can't even walk up to Kushala. Fucking
right.
wall. Invisible wall you can't get past. Who put this
Josh.
here? Oh, you did?
Like that, yep. Eddie, you went last, right?
Josh's turn.
Palomu.
Hello.
It's between C or B. I'm trying to think.
Don't think, feel.
Okay, I'm feeling. Below the Elder Dragons on C.
Below the Elder Dragon and sea.
Better than the Rathian?
Let's see. Okay.
I will say this. I will say this before you
Go
say
ahead.
anything. I think it is the cutest monster in this game. Second cutest monster in this game.
Second cutest, I think. Yeah, it's definitely very cute. It's very funny that it just like puffs up like a pufferfish. It's not threatening at all.
Oh no.
I never once felt threatened by this thing. I felt a little bit bad about fighting it. I remember that the armors weren't too useful for me. But they did look comfy at the very least.
I think they were like Russian winter
Russian,
outfits.
yeah.
Yeah.
Big poofy jackets and shit.
Yeah.
This was it had. I know there were sleep weapons, but did this monster do sleep? I think it did do sleep.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pillow.
It's a pillow. God, but yeah, it's a cute monster that I feel like did its cute thing in the C rank. C for cute.
Super cute.
Yeah, it didn't do much, right? Doesn't
Not
really
really.
introduce anything.
I think it's the first sleep monster you run into.
That can't.
It's
Yep. It's
It's
before the Rado.
So the first primarily flying monster you run into.
Hmm.
Oh wait, what about I guess. I thought,
No, I think Rathian's a little bit later. Shows up
Rathian's a
later.
little after. Yeah. Yeah, it's the first primary flying monster you run into. Because then I think Legiana's right after.
Oh, Rathian has to be before Legiana, right?
Rathian doesn't mostly fly though. You're thinking Rathalos.
Okay.
Is it a bat? What is it?
It's
bat-like.
yeah, it's like a bat.
It's a bat.
Okay. I don't I think there's like
Mainly
a I think
Bat
there's like
sheep.
it's either a high rank or a master rank quest where I think it's like a giant Palomu and like its tail attack can like insta kill you with like the best armor. I'm just remembering
Yeah,
that
I
quest, and
remember
I
that
just
one.
think it's super funny because this non-threatening monster
Can Oko you.
can OHKO you from the slightest thing. It's still mid
And it's
monster.
fast too.
Do you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
remember the Odegaron?
Say one more time.
Do you guys remember the arena quest for the
With
tiny?
the tiny Odegaron. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the Mega Man quest.
Mega Man quest. Yeah.
It was Rush, right? That's the
Yeah.
dog. Yeah, that was always fun.
Great.
All right. Palomu.
Who's after Josh? Back to Roz.
Back to me. Let's put worse Radobon over here. Uragon. Yeah. There's nothing to. It looks ugly. I don't like how it looks. Is this the Crimson Chin monster? Or is this one dubbed
Yeah,
like the
it's-
Crimson
yeah.
The
Chin?
Crimson Chin. It's Jay Leno.
It has a big chin. That's cool. You can mine off the back of this too. That's great.
For ores.
I mean, I guess it's funny that as this one rolls around too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
As this one rolls around, it drops like bombs. The
Mhm.
Rotobond doesn't attack when it rolls, but like the Ergon drops bombs, so that's funny. But it's just not as cool as the Rotobond. It
No.
looks ugly. it's it does nothing for me. And you see the Rotobond first, right? It's introduced
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see like this almost you would think a naked Rotobond rolling around, and you're just like, that's not cool.
I know they put the cooler monster first.
First. And then they take you to the Elder Recess. It's hot, and all of a sudden, it loses its
Yeah.
bones, and it's ugly. That's all I can say about this monster.
I got nothing else to say. About
It has no
it.
redeeming
You put it
factors
in
to
the
me.
exact right place.
Huh?
I said you put it in the exact right place
Oh,
for me at least.
yeah, that's it. I don't know if you have anything else to say from anybody else.
Nah.
No, I think you consistently. I honestly I think it's D.
D. I'll put it in D. I was gonna say I put it up
put
here
it
just
probably with-
because I like the skeleton at the very least, but I mean its skeleton is whatever.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know, actually,
yeah,
that looks right.
that looks right to me. Right.
Yeah,
It's
that's
filler.
fine.
It's filler and bad filler, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had to get another skeleton in there, right? And they put the good one first. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
All right.
I think it was. Honestly, I think it was just map choice tries. I feel like
Yeah,
The
but still, it just
Laura
it's
could only go in the Rotten Vale,
right.
and the Ergon, I guess, could. I'm trying to think of where it can go, and I think the Elder Recess makes the most sense.
Yeah. Boo.
All right. I believe it's Austin's turn.
Let's go with the behemoth
Yes.
at S tier.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What a collaboration.
What a collaboration.
What a collaboration.
We have a
I'm
We have a collaboration done right and a collaboration done wrong.
Right.
We had a
Yeah.
collaboration done right and a collaboration done wrong. Behemoth and like I would want it's not my favorite summon from Final Fantasy. I'm a more of a Bahamut guy.
Hmm.
But Behemoth, right?
Behemoth isn't a summon, is it? It's just an enemy. It's a boss.
Is this an enemy?
It's an enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, any of the large, monsters that are iconic to Final
My-
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. And it's it's supernova,
Force strategy.
more forces strategy. It felt like an event, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So
It felt like a
It's-
raid, like a proper raid. But like
it felt like a proper raid. Yep. And it had a unique. It was just like more like a unique gameplay gimmick that really wasn't traditional in a
Mhm.
good way, right?
Right.
Not traditional to Monster Hunter.
Not traditional Monster Hunter, which reinforces that collaboration and uniqueness to it. So,
Yeah.
and the design is it's one of the best that Final
Looking-
Fantasy has ever looked like
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the time. So,
I loved. It was. This was probably one of the hardest fights.
It is the hardest fight.
I think it's
it's
the
an
hardest fight.
extremely tough fight.
The
Yeah.
hardest.
Especially for base world.
Yeah. And God, I think
And
I
they
probably
make it even
defeated him
harder.
once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never beat his like what's it called? The next not
Extreme Behemoth.
Extreme Behemoth. Never beat that one.
EX Behemoth.
Yeah. We never beat
God.
it. No, because we played it. We tried it.
Yeah.
We can
even
never
with-
get to it.
Even with Master Rank gear.
That's right. We tried doing a high rank Extreme Behemoth with Master Rank gear, and we could not achieve victory.
We couldn't beat the fucking damage check.
Oh my God.
It's cool that you can also use the lunge emote to avoid the supernova if you were good
Yeah,
enough.
If you can time it properly.
Yeah.
That once. And I said, I did it. I'm done. I don't need to prove myself anymore.
So yeah.
God.
What a fight.
It fights. Yeah, it fights extremely different, obviously, from any other monster.
Did it get its own skeleton?
It's a unique
It would
skeleton.
have
Yeah.
to. It would have to. Yeah.
Sick.
I mean, it might share like fanged wyvern, like claw attacks and stuff like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But overall, it's very unique.
God, I loved the the Final Fantasy elements they added to the fight itself, like the damage numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
The enmity was very funny.
Enmity, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all like the strategy part of it, which is pretty sick.
Love this armor, by the way. Amazing.
The
The Dragoon armor.
This armor is amazing.
From
14.
Love
is it specifically
just
from
Final
14
Fantasy.
only?
Yeah, it's 4. Yes, I think so.
Maybe not, because Dragoon is just a class.
Right. but
I
the design is based off of their.
I think the design specifically
yeah,
is
the
from
design
the
itself, yeah.
MMO.
Yeah.
All right. Is it me now?
Yes.
Well, can I take the best invader monster in Deviljho and put him above Kulturov?
Above Cool Tarov.
Now, you want to talk about brute wyverns. This is your boy.
That
This
is
is the
Bruticus
fucking
indeed.
the pickle man himself. Like this I mean, ever since Try, he has terrorized every game he's been in
Mm-hmm. I feels it.
and like is probably the one of the most difficult monsters until you learn it like move for move.
Properly, yeah.
Like you can't guess on it or else you will die. You have to learn its movesets exactly, more or less. The armor sets look crazy cool. It's like they're like Wastelander armor
Mm-hmm.
and
Four.
and like the weapons are just insane looking.
It has negative affinity.
And that still withstanding, it still belongs in S tier, I believe.
Yeah.
I want to put the I agree. It's definitely an S tier monster. I want to put the Kulvi Taroth above it because I think I like the Kulvi Taroth a bit better.
Does anyone else support?
He has the same
Jonathan
pose as the Odogaron.
in the emblem, yeah.
Yeah. I think it should go S tier, but I think I don't know if it exceeds the Cove or even the Behemoth.
Yeah.
I'll say better than Basil.
It is definitely the better
Hey,
invader,
definitely-
Yeah.
but then for it to be above like the raid monsters,
I have a hard time justifying that.
yeah.
It's more of a special feeling, right?
Yeah.
But then I feel like the most forgotten part is its theme.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's like it's a real oh shit
It's a
moment,
oh
right?
shit moment when you hear
Yeah.
that music kick in,
Yeah,
Plus,
so
always so funny whenever
and it
you
never loses a turf battle
never lose.
Well,
can't-
Until
until someone else, but
but I
that doesn't
also
happen yet.
you didn't mention it, but it almost goes without saying how it will use a motherfucker to beat up another.
yeah,
motherfucker.
I was about to mention that. It's the only monster current like here, right, that uses
I think it's the only monster in general.
Yeah, I was trying to think if Anjanath does it at all, but I don't think so.
No.
Devil Joe,
no.
yeah, Devil Joe will just pick up a great Jagras and start swinging this motherfucker.
Start swinging it at other people. Well,
And,
I mean that's how it's introduced, right? It's
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
using a Odogaron to fight
To the
something,
No, it's
Yeah.
not using. Is it using?
or it's
Odo?
eating an Odogaron.
No, it's the Jagras because it's introduced in the Ancient Forest.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then-
I might be remembering it differently then.
I want to say that it's one of the gross monsters, and it does gross in a very cool way, right?
Yeah,
Because like I want to compare it to the Uragon. And
Uragon-
that's
yeah,
like
oh, yeah.
kind of similar, right? Like they're kind of big, slimy, long boys. And Devil Joe just does it better.
But it's
But
got that
it's terrifying, right? Because Devil Joe is terrifying. Uragon just looks ugly.
Yeah. Plus, another thing that going for its like cool design is it's like its ability to unhinge its fucking jaw, because it's like the seam goes like a good ways down its neck.
Does it?
Yeah.
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 It can unhinge its jaw to like pick up bigger shit.
I didn't know that. I just thought it had a big mouth.
Oh, both
I
are
mean,
true.
it's part of it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture now, and it does like go far back. But I didn't think. I thought it was like a scar or something, like a scar
Nah.
design on it.
That's just part of its mouth.
Mouth.
God, you know what's kind of scary? It's not seamless, meaning it's done that to itself, like opening that wide. Fights against the limitations of its skin to open its mouth wider.
It's got to go further
I
beyond.
said that, and I scared myself actually. Let's move on.
Who
All
did
right.
that?
I think it's me.
That was
now.
me.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's
Okay, let's get the Rathalos.
And they're similar enough, right? These two.
Yeah,
they fight differently, but yeah, aesthetically.
it's same for
they're the
the
same.
Yeah, let's put them both. Definitely A tier. I want to put him. I want to put him above. Definitely above Engine F. Probably above Puke Puke. And we can talk about if they go beyond the Legiana. Just but as of right now, they're they're the Charizard of Monster Hunter. I feel like.
Yeah.
Is Rathos a little bitch?
Okay, well,
Whoa.
feels-
No. Because it was cool enough to be featured in several games outside of its home.
Oh yeah.
Homeworld.
What's it called? Dragalia Lost had it.
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers had it. It shows up in fucking
Christ.
Metal Gear Solid.
What?
Does?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, dude.
Dude, it is so fucking
Dude.
sick.
It shows up in Peace Walker on the PSP.
Yeah.
And so basically it's a mission where it's you're just fighting a legit ass Rathalos and you're just shooting him with a fucking submachine gun.
Yeah,
No
and,
fucking way.
You have to like wait until you get more equipment to where they drop you RPGs and shit.
That's so insane.
Yeah.
It's currently in Final Fantasy Ever Crisis. It's the current event right now. Yeah.
Man.
Rathalos
yeah,
is not
I
a
mean,
little bitch.
Rathalos is not a little bitch.
I mean, iconic fight, iconic monster, great armor, great weapons. I think it's got critical up, a critical eye on some of its
Armor.
maybe I'm wrong.
I don't.
But-
I think it's attack up. I don't think it's critical.
Oh,
eye.
attack up, which I love because I love base stat.
Damage.
Because I didn't have to think too hard about whether that's good or not for my build. Because I knew it was.
Yeah, it was attack boost.
Damage.
Damage.
But yeah, I mean,
That's what it was. Its armor set gets critical element,
Yes.
so you can do bigger element damage.
And damage.
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 Yeah. I mean, it's just a great monster with pretty much great everything else.
King of the skies.
King of the skies.
Possibly a little bitch.
Possibly a little bitch, but
Possibly.
As your Rathalos a little bitch.
the jury's out.
Maybe.
So I'll just say, in particular with World, right? I like how it was integrated, into Ancient Forest with its nest at the top,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then how it affects like the waterfall. Right?
Yeah.
It's environmental interactions, right? Kind of
That's great.
makes Rathalos kind of stand above, right? It's it's kind of like how we talk about like Pokemon, where like standalone they're great, but in context of like seeing them in the nature
Mm-hmm,
or seeing that, right? It's the same thing here, right? Like I think about how Rathlos was introduced in Rise, and I can't remember exactly, right?
Hey, you know what? I can't remember either.
I can't remember, right?
I
Like I
mean-
know they're like
World-
dragon nests, right? But like they're just like in the random corner,
Yeah.
right? But it's in world and especially right, you climbing up to the top. You got your third camp. You're like, hey,
Right.
something's up here, Pard. Right? You hear that? Right. So and especially because like do you get one of the egg carrying quests before you fight Rathalos?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Like, don't you have to steal the egg first
Yep.
and then like oh shit,
And then
you can just-
Rathlos
Mhm.
shows up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think because of that in context with this game, Rathalos does really shine in world.
In world. Box monster.
And yes, the actual box monster. Yes.
Yeah. I have no complaints about where it is.
I like Legiana, so I'm putting it over Azure Rathlos.
That's fine.
Only because like Azure Rathalos is just harder Rathalos, right?
Again, they just fight slightly different. I don't think
Okay.
it's much harder.
It's probably like,
Like,
the priority of moves in which each Rathalos
Yeah,
uses.
like I think it likes to swoop more, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken. Like it uses fire less. But I mean, doesn't really matter.
The blue doesn't look as good as the red. Just leave it at that.
Not as good as gold.
There's no
All
gold
right.
Rathalos.
Silver?
Yes.
Okay. Gold Rathian, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And Rathian is no longer a bitch.
Xeno'jiva. Can I get that? I want to say high C.
Really?
No, low B.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I think it should be above. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely above.
Actually, no.
before.
Now I'm looking at it. Give it mid B.
Maybe.
Yeah, I
Get
was
in
gonna
front of
say.
Kuliyaku. At least.
I-
No,
Yeah.
let's put in front of Radabon too.
Oh my god.
Hey, you want?
I'm just looking at it. Okay, that looks about right.
One of the better elders, I'll say. Right?
I think as a
I'll put it over Kieran.
Because clearly we don't like the elders in this game.
No, not really.
Not true.
As the end of the game boss,
Like the actual finale to Monster Hunter
Finale?
Base.
I thought that fight was fantastic.
Oh
It
yeah,
was.
it's super cool.
It's like it's
And
not a
it-
drag to replay either. I think it has cool moments in it when it's like it has like very specific, very telegraphed attacks that
Mhm.
you have to dodge or get the fuck out of the way, or you will cart
Right.
regardless of your gear. I think was really cool.
It being
Design-wise,
like
I think it looks-
enormous too.
Yeah, a huge, humongous dragon, that takes up like basically a third of the map at all times. To the point where like if you knock it down and you knock its tail off the side of the map, you cannot hit the tail.
Right.
I think it's great. I mean that's more to the physics of the game than anything, but
Mounting the monster is super fun because it's just riding this gigantic thing all over
Yeah.
the
it's
place.
fantastic.
a lot about mounting, even though was it introduced in World?
Mounting,
No,
no.
it was introduced in 4, which was right before it.
I see.
But World did make it more accessible for other weapon types because I think if I'm not mistaken, 4
Introduced the
could
glaive, I think, right?
only can really do it with the glaive. You can kind of do it with other things, but not as accessible. It was harder to do diving attacks with. But yeah, I thought it was a great send off to base game.
I kind of want to put it at the bottom of A now.
I,
I'm fine with that too.
I think it doesn't. I think it belongs in A.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, even above Diablos, then fuck it. It's just slowly climbing up.
Creep- yeah, creeping up.
What's
Its
happening is
armor looks
remembering more and
fantastic.
more
I
about
love.
monster
I love
and
like.
Hold
the-
on, hold on. There's two voices. Hold on.
Sorry.
Go
Sorry, I was
ahead,
gonna
Andy.
say,
Go ahead,
so
Andy.
I love the wispy
Yes.
like the
part of its tail or whatever. Not part of its tail, just like it's
The
like feathers, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to call them. But like on the armors, they look and the weapons, like having that extra wisp flow around you when you're using the weapon, and to go into like SOSs with the Xenojiva gear before any of the added monsters came in
right.
felt really like people felt like, oh shit, this guy knows what he's doing. Like I've never seen that gear before. They must be good.
Right.
So it also has that added effect for me, at least.
I
Yeah.
think it's fight too, right? Isn't its fight like super interactive with the environment?
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember. Like, doesn't it like
You can drop things on it, right?
yeah? There's a bunch of things you can drop.
Yeah, you can drop rocks on it. There's like not mines, but like explosive things that you have
Yeah,
to
I was
like
gonna say like
bait 'em in
doesn't it
there.
like ignite the floor and stuff sometimes?
Yeah, you had to like make it walk onto specific things to blow up the floor.
Yeah, because that makes the fight much more fun. Because when you're fighting regular monsters, they're not that equipped to do these kind of things. So you're just fighting around them. Whereas when you fight Xenojiva, you want to move him certain places, and it makes it a lot more.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't
had
want
to,
to
like,
think, but
bait
like
it
when
to specific areas.
yeah,
and-
sometimes you don't want to think when you fight these monsters, but having that little extra thought makes the fight that much more fun.
yeah.
And then, yeah, as you were saying before, all the extra flourishes on the weapons and the armor, like before
Looks
they
sick.
added the like Strider scarf, like that you were using Xenojiva gear to get these flowing like extra bits to look cool.
Yeah.
Any more updates to Xenojiva before we call it there?
I think it looks good there.
Yeah.
Let's put it above the engine F.
With the edge of that, are we
Moving
good now?
on up.
Are we good now, or any more changes to Zeno? We're good.
We're good. Austin, anything to say?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Sorry.
Oh,
Um, it's I like it there. I just wanted to say it's it's cool that's alien themed,
right.
Yeah.
right? And
Out of this world.
it's out of this world, even though this is Monster Hunter World.
World.
And so I just think that it has that cool theming that
Was
kind of
it
helps it. So
I sort of blend I guess was it like the baby Xenojiva, right? And then there's the adult.
oh, that's
Sasuke Jiva.
right.
Yeah, I was about to ask. When you fight Xenojiva, do they tell you that this was like a newborn?
Yes,
And
I
then
believe it's introduced
Yes.
as like it just hatching out of the egg or some shit.
Yeah, so like you fight it, you kill it, and you're like, man, that was a tough fight. I wonder if we'll ever see an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this it? I think so. Anyways,
Oh yeah.
No.
yeah, Xenojiva's
But-
cool.
All right. Josh.
Oh.
You should take the
Not
honors,
many to choose.
Josh. Josh, you should take the honors.
Thank you. I didn't have much to say about the Lion Boys.
That's a
And
female.
gals.
One's a girl.
That's a girl. Actually, no. I'd be doing a disservice. Let's get the Teostra. Since yep. God. B. And then let's put it just above Zoro Magnaros.
Excuse me.
God. I think it's probably the Elder Dragon I fought the most. Even more so than Kieran. I like it. There's not much to say. It's a decent fight. I like the design decently enough. I don't really like the armor that much because
It's a red like metal suit.
yeah, it's like yeah.
I think you look like a chess piece or something, like
knight or something,
Yeah,
or
Yeah.
a rook
that's
or
a
some shit.
Rathian like issue that I think both me and Austin don't really like. It's like the big poofy dress. I'm not a big fan of.
Oh, that's for female though.
Yeah,
It looks
can't
all right
remember,
on
but
male.
I think it does. I think it does look better on male. Trying to think. Is it the Teostra daggers that have the dual element?
So it's half Teostra and half Kushala Daora.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. Because I remember That's why I was farming with them because I wanted those daggers and I eventually
Mm.
got them. Those were
Soul
one of my
blades.
favorite. Yeah, those were one of my favorite weapons at near the end of the game. Its fucking Nova Blast was very hard to avoid in the beginning.
Superman dive.
Yeah, Superman dive. I think so whoever was on Flash Pod duty was.
Yes.
Don't say that like if he's not in the room.
But yeah, not. I mean, I think it's definitely above the other two Elder Dragons, just because he might have. Did he have like a fire aura that he was doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not as like bad as the invincibility aura from the Kushara
No,
Daora.
it was not.
Or the Valhazak, which
It
like
was just burning. Like you're always in red health.
yeah, but at least it wasn't gonna half your maximum.
I don't remember if it ever stopped. But
I think we debated this a couple of times, and I don't remember where we landed, but I felt like if you built enough fire resistance, it would
Negate it.
negate it.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
That's not how I play the game. So
Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't have that much trouble because I definitely reached it. Like I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't remember Teostra specifically, its aura being
It
that
did
bad.
chip damage. Yeah.
But I don't
That's
remember
about
it
it.
being I don't remember it being
Disgusting.
to the point where
It
I
was
needed
manageable.
to play around it. But
I like the cannons, or the gun bows or bow guns rather.
I feel like
Oh yeah, they were just straight up cannons.
because I don't really like Teostra's fight either, especially in World, because you're like extremely grounded in World. But the monster design itself is super sick to me.
It's like a chimera.
Yeah, I would want to move Teo higher up somewhere here and be
Below Tyrion, maybe.
maybe, yeah. Because it's another monster where it's like, my friends don't want to fight it because they can't. I guess I gotta learn how to fight this fucking monster for me, type deal. So it became not that bad.
I had no problems with it.
From Legacy or
Personally.
just in general?
In general,
Okay.
like even in Legacy, I believe it was introduced in Monster Hunter 2. So I mean, it's always been around since I've played. It's never really been an issue. I think it's cool. I love the supernova.
Yeah, the
As,
supernova
like-
is super sick
Yeah, it's really cool.
as a
Like-
as a signature attack.
Yeah, I thought it was great. So I don't know. I think it's great where it's at. My only problem with it is its gear coming off of it, kind of whack.
I remember it being
I remember it being good for bow guns.
good.
I mean, like the armor sets are good. I meant like just the pure design of it.
oh,
like,
the design,
aesthetic,
yeah, not that great.
kind of mid,
Yeah,
mid to whack,
for sure.
It's a whack.
mid to whack, in my opinion. But yeah, but outside of that, as a monster itself, I think it's great.
Yeah. All right, we can leave Teo here. I'm not touching Dodo Gama. That's not my. I don't think I can do it justice either. So I will take the other monster and leave it right there.
Whoa, really?
I hate Lunastra. I hate fighting this girl. I can't stand it.
Oh my god.
She's literally like not worse Teostra in terms of design, but like the fight itself is worse Teostra.
It's a drag.
But
she-
what about their combo attack?
Okay,
When you're fighting it alone.
you over here watching them fuck, Josh? Is that what you're into?
Is that really what they're doing?
It's
They're mating.
yeah.
Never mind.
They're doing a mating dance.
The event is like a bonding. I think it says.
They have achieved.
Ugh, never mind. You're right. It's,
Hence the explosion.
They reach a climax, Joshua. They reach peace. That's why Teostra has that clarity afterwards. Teostra's just sitting there with clarity. And Lunastra continues the fight.
Yeah.
Like the biggest difference between the two of them in my memory is their supernovas, right? Teostra has a singular like bomb attack, while Lunastra
Lunastra.
has like an AOE DOT fucking bullshit where you
oh,
I
yeah.
I still don't understand how to counter it or how to deal with it. I still don't know how.
Get the fuck out of the way.
You're supposed to like claw shot into her as
What?
she does it.
Claw shot.
Yeah. You're supposed to claw shot into her as she does it, and then there's like a save point within her aura.
AoE aura, yeah. I don't know.
It doesn't
I never
affect, but
figured it out.
it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what to do. I hate fighting this monster. I'll put it above Lavasiath.
And for that reason, above Lathasia.
Yeah. I could still fight it. I could still hit it. Unlike Lavasiath, where I can't hit it. But it's just it's such a frustrating fight. It's such a frustrating fight. It looks
No, I-
cooler than Lavasiath, so that's why it goes above Lavasiath.
It's still an elder at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Elders with their
these are
BS.
also never mind. I guess they're not elders.
No,
They're unknowns.
they're unknowns. They're mythicals.
So I mean, unless anybody else wants to put this monster higher up, I hate
I
this
think
monster.
Lunastra's a little bitch.
I hate Lunastra.
I think it belongs in the little bitch tier.
Oh no! Is this little bitch tier right here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much. Yeah.
Go ahead and change it.
No, I want people to know that we hate these monsters.
All right.
All right.
Austin, will you do the honors?
You're putting me on the spot here.
You're the man.
What can I say about Dodo Gama that cannot already be said? The one monster that doesn't want to fight you. the one monster that just minding its own business, sleeping in the crystal caverns of Elder Recess,
Eating rocks.
eating
Yeah,
rocks.
this is the equivalent of the kid eating glue in the corner of the classroom.
In
Like-
the most dangerous part of the entire game, just minding its own business, in rocks
Eating rocks.
among titans.
among titans. Yeah, Odogoron is
Dodo Gama.
one. Sorry, Dodo Gama. Sorry, I don't know. Well, oops.
That's a Freudian slip.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's just I'm looking it up right now. His title is the Rock Thief Wyvern. Right? He instead of consuming other monsters, he consumes rocks.
Rocks.
So yeah, there's not much else to be said, I think.
It is-
But he is quite the lovable creature that should be the true mascot of Monster Hunter. Thank you for my
Truly.
TikTok.
I mean, he got merch.
He does get merch.
He gets merch.
This
He
is
sells the most merch.
really.
Does he actually?
I don't know about the most, but it is valued a lot higher. I've seen so like I follow the pricing for the collectible figures
Hmm.
that they make, and Dodogama is probably one of the higher price one just because it's most sought out
Sheesh.
because of its popularity.
This is
So,
also a world monster, right?
this is a world monster,
World
yeah,
exclusive. Yeah.
world exclusive. Hopefully not exclusive. Hopefully we see its return in Wilds in years to come.
A little comic about how all the other like starting monsters in the areas have their own little mini dudes and little mini copies, and the Dodogama doesn't have one, so it just draws pictures of faces on rocks.
I haven't seen that.
It doesn't have minions.
Yeah,
They
Dodogama is
don't
definitely
need the goons.
the Swampert equivalent.
Yeah.
This is the Swampert equivalent here.
He's just a lovable guy. He's the
Oh.
one monster that actively doesn't want to fight you.
The
Like,
only one,
that's-
right? Is it
that's
the only
admirable.
one?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, the Elder Dragons typically don't do anything until you do something first. But we're not gonna count them because they suck.
I think Radobon is pretty docile.
Rodon
Right.
is kind of docile, but he
Yeah.
will attack you if you're in its like
Territory.
territory. But it's not gonna go out of its way to attack you,
Right.
like some of the other guys in S tier.
All right. Well, yeah, I was gonna say like S tier is full of ferocious beast, and above
Yeah.
them, the true king,
The true king.
the
true
peaceful
king.
king.
Yes.
All right, cool. That's it. We're done.
We're done. Only
Yeah.
Took,
2.5.
almost 3.
2.5 hours.
Not too bad.
Not
Too
too
bad.
bad.
Not too bad.
And then
Fantastic.
we return
For Iceborne.
for Iceborne.
Iceburn.
All right, cool. This is the Monster Hunter World base monster tier list that we have made. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, losers, we're done.
Oh my god. How did you find that so fast?
I just typed in Google, Dodogama makes rock friends.
Where did you send it?
You put it
In
in
the
the
general.
general.
That's fantastic.
That is lovely.
I like rocks.
I like rocks. Rocks are my friend.
These are my
Ate
friends.
my food.